for sale to your.
Hey, shalom, bro. Hold up, 1 second. Shalom, 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 shalom. Give me 1 second. Hold up a minute. We're gonna get right into it. Got a couple announcements to make first, so hold on a second. Let me get some of the brothers in here. Hold on. Shalom, shalom. Hold up, y'all. Let me send this link to the brothers right quick so I get them in here. Hold on just a second. Shalom, shalom. Hold on, y'all. Give me just a second. Let some people get up in here and let me share this link so I get my readers up in here right quick. Shalom, y'all. Hold up. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Just hold on a second. Yeah, hold on, y'all. Salaki. Brother was supposed to read for me. Don't look like he available right now. Hold up. Salakia. Yeah, come. Yeah, hold up a second. Salaki. Yeah, Salaki, y'all. I had myself on mute. I was talking to brothers trying to get stuff situated. I was supposed to have another brother on helping me out, but he's not picking up the phone, so I don't know what's going on. But anyway, what I want to talk about today, I was supposed to have a debate with a Christian from Faith and Grace Ministries over in the UK, and he skipped out. He's supposed to debate Sakari sometime this week as well. Don't know if he's going to actually decide to debate them or not, but he didn't want to debate both of us in the same week. I asked first. He told me, yeah, but they got he got a reply from them first because he sent me a reply to the wrong email. So they got to set their date up before I did, and now he doesn't want to debate two Israelite camps in the same week. So instead of debating him, I'm going to debunk the video that I saw that made me want to talk to him. Well, one of the videos. It was two videos that he made, or two videos on his channel rather. This video basically is talking about his it's him trying to debunk the history of the Israelites. So me being somebody that likes history, I wanted to get into that a little bit. Then I got some bonus scriptures for y'all. It's not going to be too long of a lesson. Got a brother who's going to come and help me read in a minute. We're not going to wait on him. We're going to go ahead and get started. But before we do, I want to let y'all know that the Sons of Thunder, we're going to have new moon. It's going to be tomorrow. So if you can make it, I know it's short notice, but if you can make it, email at sons of thunder Israelites at gmail.com for your like RSVP. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, we won't be having the women and children around again. We're gonna have to make a quick little new moon ceremony, but we don't want to not serve the Most High in these perilous times, so we're still gonna do it. It's gonna be at the same location we had the Passover at, so it's gonna be real quick. We're gonna read the normal new moon scriptures, you know what I'm saying, and then do the prayer anoint the people, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're gonna do it. Like I said, if you're interested in coming and you in the state, you know what I'm saying, email sons of thunder Israelites at gmail.com, and RSVP. And if you're not in the state, we should be going live on one of the platforms. We'll let you know. Either gonna be here on here on YouTube, or it's gonna be on Facebook. So you gotta stay tuned for that. All right. So now that we got that out the way, while I'm waiting on a brother to come in, we're gonna just start the video. Hold on a second. Tomorrow's a new moon. Yeah, Rick, I got you. All the soldiers and everything, y'all gonna get info, but for everybody else that's not actual soldier or prospect, y'all need to RSVP. You feel? So send an email if you want to come. If not, don't forget to catch it on the live. All right. So let's get right into it. Again, this is a debunking the quote unquote so-called Black Hebrew Israelite movement. This gentleman, if you want to call him such, is friends with Vocab McNuts. So he knows a little bit about us, so to speak. But as you'll see in the video, he don't know that much. And things he think he know, he's not really accurate on. So even pertaining to the history. And you realize that a lot of his sources, he only puts one or two sources because he only has one or two sources that actually say what he believes. And that's the problem with a lot of the Christian apologetic doctrine that's going on right now. Even though they're the group of Christians that's rising up to kind of combat the Hebrew Israelite movement, whether on this side of the world or the other side of the world, they're the main group of Christians that's like stepping up to the plate to do it. But you'll realize that they don't know nothing about history. They don't know nothing about science. And these are the two main things that they use to back up their claims of the Bible that prove that we're not the Israelites. And this is a video that's 2 hours long. Y'all can watch it on your own time. You see what the name of the video is. You know what I'm saying? Documentary. It's a documentary of Black Hebrew Israelites debunked, right? So, and again, it's on this guy's channel. He's made a couple videos, or has a couple videos rather, that he's pulled from other channels or people that he knows or that he's made himself, basically trying to debunk Hebrew Israelites and our doctrine. And this was his attempt at debunking the history. So without further ado, let's get into this.
In the United States, Black African men have formed groups claiming they are the true Israelites and that the Ashkenazi Jews in Israel and abroad are imposters.
Notice again, they never mention all 12 tribes of the people that we consider to be the 12 tribes. They always mention the chart and call it false, but when they mention the group in its entirety, they only mention what we would consider to be the Southern Kingdom, which to me pulls more reference to the chart, because Judah's supposed to wake up. Judah's supposed to be in the neck of the enemies. Judah's supposed to be the ones that everybody's afraid of. And clearly, though we've labeled and quoted many times openly that it's Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, so-called, that are on this side of the world that we believe to be the Israelites, and the people that descend from us scattered abroad, those would be the Israelites according to the Bible. They still only call it the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. So just something else to put out there. But as you see, this is a chart that another person made a while ago. When I first came into the truth, I saw it. But he takes it and he puts his own little spin on it to try to give you insight and information on what this chart means. So let's listen to what he says right quick before we get into the actual lesson.
Different Black Israelite splinter groups. Some believe Jesus is the Messiah and others do not. Some claim the white man is the devil and cannot be saved, and others do not. But what they all agree on is they are supposedly the true Israelites of the Bible. In this film, we will refute the biblical and historical claims of these groups.
So you see the talking points that he just put across the screen. Those are the talking points for this whole video. So he's got is Abraham and the Shemites Negroes, were the Israelites Negroes. You know, do the curses Deuteronomy 28 apply to the African Americans? And nobody else on the chart, just the African Americans, right? Because there's certain things on the throughout the curse of Deuteronomy 28 that you could say wouldn't apply to the African Americans, but they would apply to the other 10 tribes and the people that we would call the 10 tribes, who would be the so-called Latinos and Native Americans. But he's not going to mention them or none of those curses that we say apply to him in this video. And he's only going to mention like 2 or 3 curses that he claims don't apply to the so-called African Americans in this video out of all of the curses of Deuteronomy 28. So keep that in mind as well. Oh, and he's asking, are the Egyptians Negro? For the reason that he knows that he's learned from Vocab Malone that we use scriptures like the ones about Miriam, the ones about Moses, the ones about Paul, which we're going to get into, that prove that we've been likened to Egyptians, that prove that you know, certain of us were turned lepers and stuff like that. So they want to basically refute the fact that the Egyptians are black as well. You understand what I'm saying? So they tried that in this video. So just pay attention. Because like I told you guys, these are things that are going to become mainstream soon. They're not mainstream like amongst main real, like your normal Christian as of right now. But as Christians get more and more deeper into trying to debunk Hebrew Israelism, as they call it, or Black Hebrew Israelism, as Vocab Malone has coined it, they're going to try to use things like this to try to debunk us. So keep that all in mind. Bruh, if that's Kahan, I'll tell you whatever we're going to tell you when the lesson's over with, bruh, if I got time. If not, you could come on and we could have a conversation. But here's the lesson. Hey, the water Yanti for the donation. All right. Shalom. And so y'all know I'm not going to go over all the talking points of this video because many of them we've gone over in the previous Milk Monday lesson. So I'm not going to make a whole 360 and go over all this stuff again. Oh, okay, Con. It's a lot to you. You know, is that loud? Oh.
In 1960, an African American named Eber Ben Yamyan, also known as Abba Bivens, formed a black Israelite.
We're going to skip this part because he really don't know what he's talking about here. And it kind of makes me upset that he lied so much. If y'all want to see the lies he said there, y'all just watch. I want to get to the part where he gets on the camps, the split. He really tried the elders, man. He really tried the hell out of them. All right.
David School. Arya remained at ISUPK, and one of the members of that group, named Tazadakia, ended up making the insane and heretical claim that he was actually the promised comforter or Holy Spirit of John 14 in the flesh.
For those of you guys that don't know who this brother is, he's the brother that unfortunately passed away due to coronavirus. You know what I'm saying? Which could be the judgments for him making that Herodias claim. All right.
He changed the name of ISUPK into the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ, or ICGJC, due to some failed prophecies which embarrassed the group. We will cover those false prophecies shortly. Now Ariah, the one who made the false prophecies, remained with this renamed IC.
Exactly, and you're gonna see that they did that a whole lot, like at the very beginning of the video. They were talking about the elders and the way they started the group or the camp, so to speak. Like they knew them, like they were there. And the stuff that they said was like you could tell it was hearsay because I've heard the stories from people that actually were at the school, and they tell it much differently than the white man would tell you on the YouTube. But Christians that have never seen or don't know any Israelites to ask us questions about the school and how things started and everything like that, they'll watch these videos and believe wholeheartedly that the white man knows what he's talking about. They'll believe that he was a good journalist and actually got, eyewitness accounts of what happened. In fact, though, what happened is the man, and you're going to see, he gets all his information from a GOCC reject. And as you see, the man who started GOCC is an offshoot of the ICGJC, not the offshoot of the original school. So that's just a point to put out there. But even in the dude who he has, who was in GOCC, that's not in GOCC anymore, wasn't in none of these schools. He was only in GOCC and wasn't even in the school for that long. So he's trying to tell this guy the whole history of the school, like he knows the whole history of the school, like he was there. And the man is repeating what he said or what he heard as if it's fact. So that's also something that they do. They throw our elders' name through the mud as if they know them, but they don't.
EGJC group, supporting Tazadakia's claim of being the Holy Spirit. Ariah also ended up denying the virgin birth of Jesus and claiming that the beginning of the Gospel of Luke was a forgery, since it affirms that doctrine. Their ICGJC group also denies the doctrine of the Trinity. General Yohana was part of this renamed ICGJC group, but ended up leaving and creating another group which retained the original ISUPK name. His group still exists today and is quite large. Another ICGJC member named Elder Rashaw also left the group after the aforementioned failed prophecies and created the Gathering of Christ Church School, or GOCC, which still exists today.
The man that he got all his information from is a UK member of the GOCC. So he's not even a member of the church that's in Texas, right? He's a member of the UK school. So I don't even know if he knows Elder Rakah. I don't know how long he was in the school, but I know it wasn't that long because he said it in the video. And like I said, he's a member of the UK school. So I don't even know if he was getting the correct doctrine according to what they teach, or the correct stories according to what happened, because he's getting the hearsay stories from across the pond. So also keep all of that in mind.
This group says that Gentiles like whites can be saved, while the other schools say they cannot. Now Tahar, who was a leader of the House of David splinter group, which was at odds with the original ISUPK group, started teaching the false doctrines that the Gentile Cornelius in the book of Acts was actually an Israelite, and that the black Hebrew Israelites could rape young girls based on a distortion and misunderstanding of Deuteronomy 22.
So what happens when one of y'all feels so overwhelmed by the Spirit of God that when you see one of each other's daughters, you just grab her up? You gonna tell one of these brothers here, come on, you know the doctrine. You know how it get when you get... Well, answer it.
And I'm letting this play, guys. For those of you that don't know, I'm letting this part play because they are using this as a, well, you Israelites say you can rape a little girl. So it's not a thing that we say we can do. I don't even think the elder meant it like that, but that's how it's been portrayed. But that's another thing. But I'm saying, like, you have to understand the background of this, where it comes from, which is why I'm allowing it to play, because they are starting to try to use this against us, right? But he's going to say some things in this video about Tahar and about this claim that aren't true that you guys need to know as well. And the whole thing about Cornelius, before I started, that's not false. Cornelius was an Israelite. All the camps that the elders, in fact, the elders who made Tahar leave or kicked him out of school for making that claim at the One West now teach that for the most part. So.
Answer. We just told you that. But if it did happen, but if it did happen, you would allow it to happen. Why? Because you go back to the scriptures. You're supposed to be a brother. Hold brothers to rape your daughter.
When the kingdom is established, we're going to get women when they 12 years old. Right. All right? Say it again. Question. Have sex with them. Have babies, man. With 12-year-olds. Brother, there's in the kingdom, we're going to do that, man. We're going to get them young.
This caused major divisions and arguments within the House of David school he was a part of. Tahar was therefore kicked out.
Hold on. Now you see this? He said that those claims caused major divisions amongst the school that got Tahar kicked out. He's lying. Because those claims that he made were made way after GMS was created. Way after Tahar left the HOD school. So that's something that you got to keep in mind, because he lied about that, right? The only thing that got him, quote unquote, kicked out of the school is the Cornelius claims. And then afterwards, many people changed their doctrine and realized that Cornelius himself is an Israelite. So, you know, that's how that went. But that isn't what got Tahar kicked out of the school. If you look around in that video, the brothers that are around him are the brothers that helped him form the school GMS. So he wasn't in the House of David anymore. That wasn't the House of David or One West doctrine. So,
and formed his own group called Great Millstone Israelites, or GMS, which still exists today. Moreover, according to former members, people within the House of David group accused its leader Meshach of dabbling in Satanism, Kabbalah, and the incantation of demons.
The man's dead, and they're making these lies like this. You see what I'm saying? He said some have claimed, and he don't say the names of the people that claim the stuff. You're gonna see like in the there's other instances in the video where you know, he's saying these things or making claims like that, but he'll give you like references to go back and look to see who might have said that type of stuff. He doesn't say that about Mashah. He just makes the claim and leaves it at that.
They said he was trying to control demons and get them to go after his enemies. They say this might have been due to dementia and old age, however. After this, the Israel United in Christ, or IUIC, group split off from the House of David. This school is headed up by people like Elder Nathaniel and was created in 2003. You will see them wearing purple. So Black Hebrew Israelites are indeed a fragmented group with a wide array of different camps. And
you see what he did? He got on Tazdaki, he got on REI, he got on Rakah, he got on Yohana before I played the video. Basically, he told you how he left day school and started the ISUPK and all that stuff. He talks about Tahar, he talks about Nathaniel, he doesn't say anything about Zabak. And then he keeps it moving. Doesn't say anything about Shar. Doesn't say anything about Yaqua. So he's basically just hearsay stuff about, and this is this little video here that he took this and pulled it from and put on his video. This was made way before the incident in DC that happened like last year with HOI. So he doesn't know anything about this. So now he doesn't at the time this is going on, he has nothing negative to say about the House of Israel. So that's why Zabak wasn't said here, right? But if they were to make a new video, I guarantee they would have mentioned this as a way to get on HOI as well. So keep that in mind.
Beliefs. As for the false prophecy we mentioned earlier that led to the original ISUPK group to change its name, that is important to.
That is what the FBI indictment board looks like, and I guarantee you, under Nathaniel, they have all the groups that split from IUIC. Under Tahar, they got the groups like Sakari that split from GMS. Under HOI, they got the groups like us that split under HOI, under Zabak. So I guarantee you it's like that.
Discuss. Various leaders of ISUPK, such as Arya, falsely predicted Jesus was going to return in the year 2000 and murder and enslave all white people.
God is going to send his decree in these last days, and that is to totally annihilate America. America will be blown off the face of the earth by the year 2000. It's talking about Judgment Day. These places are going to be hit.
So I'm gonna fast forward to that, but he's basically trying to say here that he's gonna try to debunk Aria's claims by saying off rip at the very beginning, first 10 minutes of the video, that because the man made the year 2000 claim that, you know, we're false prophets. So he's going to try to do that type of thing. But the scriptures even tell us that no man know the day or the time. You know what I'm saying? Not even Yahushua. So, or the angels. So it's like, if they don't know, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't be too smart for us to try to make those claims either. And the majority of Israelites know this by now. So that's why most of us weren't making the claims of the 400-year prophecy ending in 2000, or 2019. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't make no sense to do that. Right. Nobody left the school because of false prophecy. Exactly.
Examining the history of this movement, we see its
And proof of that, there's actual brothers who are elders in their own respective camps right now. You know what I'm saying? Priest Daniela being one of them, who have gone on their own respective YouTube channels and spoken about this type of stuff, spoken about the 2000 prophecy, and saying that there were many guys in the school that didn't believe it, didn't preach it, and that when it was being preached, it was certain elders in the camp that were making it be preached. It wasn't something that everybody in One West was just believing and thinking. You understand what I'm saying? So keep that in mind as well.
foundations were bad. And as Matthew 7:17-18 says, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot.
So he's trying to say, he's trying to use this like as an example to say that because Ariah made a false prophecy, all of the Israelites from One West and all their offshoots are bad fruit. So there's no good fruit that came from One West. And subsequently, every Israelite group that's around right now, that's a major group, whether, you know, they come from the One West groups that came from the House of David, or you an offshoot of the ICGJC, you're all from One West. So, you know, they're trying to say we're all bad fruit.
Bear bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bear good fruit, end quote. This movement is indeed a bad tree.
All right, so here's how we're going to get into the lesson, right? He's going to start with the sons of Ham or the sons of Shem. He's going to try to refute the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, right? Because he knows that we use this. He learned it from vocab alone, that Israelites use the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. So now he's going to try to prove that Zondervan lied when he said that the Negroes don't come from Ham. The thing I want you to point out, though, or the thing I want you to realize, he's going to work very hard to show that the Negroes don't come from Shem. He's going to say that Zondervan says that the Negroes don't come from Ham, and that Zondervan says that Shem is the father of the Semites, but then he won't tell us where the Negroes actually come from. He's going to try to convince us that we're Cushites, right? And I have proof to prove him wrong emphatically with his own science. So let's get into the lesson right quick. Because this is something that you're going to have to get used to, right? The reason I'm bringing this part out is because there's a lot more we're going to get into after this, but the reason I'm bringing this out specifically is because Ham is different than we are. The scriptures say that. And white people, particularly white Christians, they're Catholicism people, the Catholics, they've been trying to perpetrate this lie on us that we're Canaanites. They realized that Hebrew Israelites have debunked that emphatically. So now they're trying to say that we're Cushites, because they know that even certain explorers, like in Israelites to Ethiopians, or the so-called people that Black Israelites would call Israelites to Ethiopians, right? So he's just gonna straight up say that's who we are, we're Ethiopians. So I'm gonna prove this wrong today. Come on, I got you. So we're gonna prove that today, all right? So watch the video.
Fake Black Israelites teach that unless you are an African American Negro belonging to the tribe of Judah, or a member of one of the other tribes, you cannot be saved. Therefore, it is important to prove the ancient Israelites were not Negroes to refute this theology. Fake Black Israelites claim they descend from Noah's son Shem. Shem's son Arphaxad was the ancestor of the Hebrews and Israelites. The question is, if Arphaxad's later Hebrew and Israelite progeny were indeed Negroes, as fake Black Israelites claim, we will demonstrate they were not. Now, Noah had another...
Hey, I just sent the link, Joel.
Son named Ham, and Ham's son Cush was actually the true ancestor of the Negroes or Africans.
So you hear this? He's trying to say that Cush is the father of the Africans, even though Zondervan says he names Cush and Egypt, right, and Canaan, all as sons of Ham, and says that the Negroes are not. So my question to him before I prove the history would be to say, why didn't he go in? Because he's going to mention Zondervan, but he's not going to try to get or go into where Zondervan got his information from. My question is, where does Zondervan, with all the scholars that they have, the historical and biblical scholars that they have working for their organization, how do they get well, how do they come to the conclusion, I'll say, that the Negroes are not Hamites and they not leave any evidence behind to prove what they're saying? And you just come up here and say that they're lying, right? So let's just watch, right? Blasphemous Esau.
Including fake black Israelites of today. Ham's son Cush was the ancestor of the Cushites. The Cushites who inhabited the land of Cush were the ancient Negroes. This land also went by the name of Nubia or Ethiopia in ancient times. Although fake black Israelites quote an outdated and mistaken Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary to say that Ham did not produce the Negroes,
he called it an outdated version, as if to say that this history in this book is wrong, right? But they keep updating the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and they never change Ham. They always keep it the same. So let me see. All right, he ain't here. Let's go.
The fact is that book nowhere says the Negroes come from Shem. In fact, this book denies that and says Shem was the progenitor of the Semitic race. And plus, modern high-level scholars affirm that Ham's son Cush was indeed the progenitor of the Negroes.
All right. So he's wait. Let him read.
For example, in his study of ancient peoples in the work From Every People and Nation, biblical scholar J. Daniel Hayes observes, the Cushites were clearly black African people with classic Negroid features. Thus, Ham's son Cush was indeed the progenitor of the Negroes.
You see this? They're trying to say.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please, Baba Shop.
Go ahead.
Yo, first of all, white people sound like the police. This nigga sound like Heat of the Night, undercover, brother. Yo,
yeah.
Look how much research they do on our people to know what we're doing. Esau is the devil the Bible speaks of. I had to say that. I can't believe the man. The man is antagonizing fake black Hebrew Israelites. Like, this whole thing is put together to ease the spirit and mind of white people who are mad that we are calling ourselves the chosen people. There are white people that are mad, not faggots getting married, not because preachers are child molesting, touching altar boys and freaking them out and bugging them out, not because they spoiling the food, not because they destroying the ocean. It's white people that's mad that we say we the Israelites. That they wake up mad that we say we the Israelites. That's why they're mad. This video is therapy for them. This makes them feel better. Just listening to this dude drone on and on makes them feel better, man. But the truth is gonna remain. Give me 2 Peter 3:15. I know I got my head covered. It's like here. Take the do-rag. I need a haircut. Israel, come on, man. It's quarantine days, man. So, give me 2 Peter 3:15. I believe that's what I want.
You got it, Yaquat? Hold on, we can't hear you, Nah.
What's that say, Ak?
Hold up. James was trying to read it, but we can't hear him. Come out and come back in.
You're breaking up a little bit. Give me 2 Peter 3:12. Not 3:15. 3:12.
All right, hold on. Let me pull it up. This is 2 Peter.
Or did I black out?
Yeah, you back now. You was blacked out for a second. But I'm saying James was trying to read it. James couldn't. We couldn't hear him. He had to come out. He says 2 Peter 3:12.
Let the brother back in.
Yeah, I'm waiting. He ain't come back in yet. He clicked out. He gonna come back.
Because I'm enjoying this, but like Esau's lies make your skin crawl. Like when they start
Yeah.
lying, it make your skin crawl because they lie and present it like it's actual research that they've done. These people cannot be trusted. Never trust our enemy, man. So the dude said one thing that was off. He said that brothers in one, yeah. He said brothers that was in one West were making a false prophecy that Yahushua was going to return in the year 2000. They don't understand. It's not a false prophecy what they did. And I learned this history through experience. It wasn't false prophecy. Give me 2 Peter 3:12. Read.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 12. Looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
That's exactly what that brother said when he said this place is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire, and Yahushua is going to come back. His garments are going to be dipped in blood, and all Edomites are going to be destroyed. That's in the Bible. That's not brothers making that up. If they wanted to argue and say, well, they're saying that he's going to come back and murder all white people. No, say what we teach. He's going to come back and destroy the Edomites. That's what he's going to come back and do. That's what we teach. All right. Y'all are not that important. What white people have done is they have made themselves the center of the earth. All right. Everything has to be about them. Can't y'all be the Edomites? Y'all can be everybody.
Right.
They everybody.
They everyone. Look, you're gonna go into his breakdown of how we're the Cushites, right?
Come.
Then that means everybody else is white people?
Yeah.
Edomites. Why can't y'all be the Edomites? See, what I'm saying is all nations in the earth are dark people. So to assign us the title of Cushite, and only from one region, you know, you're the black people that we hold in derision. You know, you're the Bantu, the Pygmies, you're the Ethiopian, and you're sub-Saharan. That's it, right? But as if there's not dark people every single place on the planet Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So if Ham is the father of the dark nations, he's the father of he's the father of the damn Filipino. He's the father of the Japanese, Korean jungle boy that still live in the woods out there because they dark like me. All right. But they don't think that far ahead. What they do is they're making these videos to ease the minds of the devils. Like racist white people have a complex it's an inferiority complex. So videos like this make them feel better. That's really what I wanted to explain. Mm-hmm. So when you read that 2 Peter 3:12, what brothers was doing was hastening the day of the Lord. They know the Bible. That's where we got breakdowns from. All right. They know that no man knows the time. There were certain brothers that was like, no, it's a fact. I'm quitting my job. Yahushua's coming back in 2000. But that wasn't every brother. You have brothers like that everywhere that are kind of like OD, you know? But that wasn't the motif of that breakdown. That breakdown was to hasten the day. Can you read it again, Ak?
Sure. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Look, man, it was something that they was looking forward to. They was looking forward to the Most High coming back and saving us from our oppressors, which all black people, so-called black people, should want. You should want the Most High to come back and remove the people that oppress you from out of the way. How is that hate? I always challenge the Christians, like the ones in the video who was challenging you, Eliel, the ones who love Esau to the point where they want to argue with us.
Yeah.
If you want to save the other nations, go find me the people of the other nations that are blessing us. And I'm going to go where they at. I'm gonna get away from here, and I'm gonna go to the place that's full of the other nations that bless our name and our God and want to keep our laws and know that we are the chosen people. Tell me where they at, and I'm gonna go live over there.
They don't understand.
We gotta keep New Moon over there, but there's no such place. See, they have flaws in their doctrine. One more scripture, I'm gonna let you take back over. Salaki and the water for letting me come on.
You got it.
Give me Isaiah 62 and 7. See, they don't understand when brothers was like, yo, the Most High's got to come back in the year 2000 and save us. Isaiah 62 and 7. When brothers was like, yo, the Most High got to come back and save us, man. In the year 2000, we finally getting off it. Brothers was hastening the day. All right? Nobody was like, it's a guaranteed fact that Christ is coming back. What they were saying was, if you have faith, let's put our faith together to provoke the Lord to come out of his place and come and save us. You had certain brothers that was burning money. I know about them stories. That wasn't the brothers that they're accusing of this. And he don't know what he's talking about. He heard that third person. He was not there. And he likes to say it this way because look at the picture selection that they chose. Even the brothers of IUIC, right? Them brothers have professional photo shoots where they and their elders and all of their men, 500 deep, some of those pictures, and they look royal. I give them brothers, they look royal. They don't pick them pictures. They pick a picture of brothers after camp one day, right? Because they have to show us in that negative propaganda light. This is making, it's white people that cannot sleep because we know the Bible and we teach that our people are the chosen people of God. So videos like this have a racist undertone that you need wisdom to see. Give me Isaiah 62 and 7.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 62 and verse 7. And gave him no rest till he established and until he make Jerusalem a praise in the earth.
See, we was pushing the Most High and not giving him rest. Brothers wasn't telling you they knew for a fact that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai was going to return. They was pushing the Most High to return. They was giving him no rest. But they don't understand these concepts because they're not spiritual. They don't deal with the Old Testament in a meticulous fashion. So everything to Esau is carnal. That's why Daniel told you that the wicked shall not understand. Right? So now we know that's a false claim to make us look like heretics. But my question remains, did we ever pile everybody into a building and set the building on fire like David Koresh in Waco, Texas? Did we ever give everybody potassium chloride in a drinking form in Kool-Aid to get everybody to be poisoned to death so the chariots of God can take them away? That was white people doing that. Where is your documentary on them niggas? Okay, where's your breakdown of the leader and where they learn their doctrine from? Because if you run their doctrine all the way back, their doctrine comes from the Christian church. It comes from you, the same people that's trying to accuse us. See, this is what I'm saying, man. You brothers and sisters during this time that know that you are Hebrew Israelites, you are blessed beyond measure. You are in the revival. Guess what? You are in the Yerushalayim Renaissance. You're in the Hebrew Renaissance.
That's right.
This is our rebirth. This is our awakening. And all Esau wants to do is catch that away from you, like Satan does in Mark 4:14 on down. You gotta ask brothers. Don't be ignorant about One West. It's in all these camps, it's brothers that's around that was there. Why don't you talk to them? Why don't you talk to them? I know that some of the camps, there's clamps on you for what kind of questions you can ask and how you can go about it. But tell them you want to know the history of how this all got started, and you'll be able to refute these claims like I'm showing you. All brothers was doing was hastening the day and giving the Most High no rest. They was begging the Most High to come back. And guess what? I wish he did. Hey, that's it.
Hey, that was good.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to watching you. Okay, bro? Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatham.
Yahweh Shem
Yahushai Barakatham.
Shalom.
Shalom. Khan. So as y'all see, he's trying to ease the white people's minds by saying that we are Cushites. So right quick, I want to show y'all this because he's gonna make this claim the entire video. He's gonna always refer back to that. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna always start with they're not the Israelites, the fake black Hebrew Israelite, this, that, and the other. And then at the end of it, that's why they're the father of the Cushites. And the father of him, Jacob could not have been a Negro and all this other crap. So he's always going to try to liken us back to the Ethiopians. I'm going to show you why. Because his ancestors were doing the same damn thing. What do I want? Maybe this.
Hey, I got a preset for you. I don't want.
All right, my bad. Y'all can see me.
I got knocked off. I didn't even notice.
Man,
he was just frozen.
Right. I shared the screen and the whole junk left. All right, hold up. Pull this back up. So like I was saying, I think East ought to be watching this junk, bro. I don't know how they be doing it. Every time I'm about to show y'all something, they kick me off the damn lot. But okay, so this is an article that I found literally 20 minutes before the damn live started. It basically says this. Can y'all see it clearly? Do it look clear on the screen? You can see it? Or do I need to zoom in? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit.
Probably zoom in just a little bit.
That's straight.
Yeah.
Okay. It says all black Africans were known. Let me read up a little bit. It says during the 8th century BC, Greeks renewed contracts with northern periphery in Africa. They established settlements and trading posts along the Nile River, Cyrene. You have to keep in mind, I'm reading this because, the Greeks were in control of the Israelites at one point, right? Well, multiple points. So, because we've been through Greek captivity, Roman captivity, and now here in America, it's the same people. So you have to understand the same way we got prophets and everything that were called Niger in the book of Acts, right? The same way that you can see they use terms for the prophets back then, the same way they're using the same terms for us now. You see that when certain old-time Greek scholars and Roman scholars would see Israelites, they would always liken us to Egyptians or Ethiopians. This is biblical as well. This is why every prophecy you see that's a curse on Egypt, he also mentions Ethiopia with it, because Ethiopia and Egypt ruled together. And when we were in their lands, they also ruled over us together. You know what I'm saying? So the misconception is that when we were in Egypt, it was only Egyptians we were around. We were around Nubians as well, though. You know what I'm saying? We didn't just mix with Egyptians. We mixed with Ethiopians too, because they were all there. You know what I'm saying? There was a time period when the Ethiopians were the Egyptians because they were ruling. You feel me? So this is all stuff people have to keep in mind. This is why the curses that are aligned with the future prophecies that are towards Egypt also have Ethiopia involved in them as well. And the white man knows this. This is why he tried to liken every black person to an Ethiopian. At some point, even calling Africa Ethiopia, right? So check out what they did here. It says, it is likely that images of Africans, if not Africans themselves, began to reappear in Aegean in the 7th century, early 6th century BC. Greek mercenaries from Ionia and Carinthia served under the Egyptian pharaoh Psammetichus in the first and the second. All black Africans were known as Ethiopians to the ancient Greeks as of the 5th century BC. Historian Herodotus tells us. So the reason I brought this out is to let you know that white historians, all the way back to the time of Herodias and before that even, always considered black people to be Ethiopians. That was the name, that was the term for black in the Greek word. It was Ethiopia. And I'm going to show that right quick. So back during this time period, instead of calling us black people or instead of calling us Nigers, before Latin was created, they were calling us Ethiopians. That's basically what I'm trying to tell you. This is why he has evidence where he could pull out things and show that there were Ethiopians in Egypt, and he's going to try to liken us to the Ethiopians, and he's going to show like images of black people. They're really, really dark-skinned people. You could tell they're Nubians. This is the same stuff that tricked our people in the 90s that were thinking they were Nubians, right? Same people that tricked all the damn rappers that was all, you know, I'm the Asiatic black man, the Rakims and the New Jack City niggas at the time. You know what I'm saying? Them type of dudes. Your Africa Bambatas and your Busta Rhymes and the Jay-Z's and the J Electronicas. These guys got caught up in this type of mindset in the 90s, and they never been able to fall out from it. They never dug deeper to find out stuff about, you know, whether they were actually Ethiopians or not. Because I learned about this verse too before I came into the truth. When I was trying to find out who the black man really was or whatever, it popped up that we were Ethiopians. You know what I'm saying? Niggas see this stuff, they walk around calling themselves Negusa Nagast and all this other BS. Right? Nigga don't mean nigga, it don't mean stupid. Nigga mean king, bro. That's the word that the Ethiopians use. Negusa Nagas, the king of kings. You know what I'm saying? They start saying that type BS. It's all because this is what the white man put out there to make us think that this is who we are. Because they know this is a stumbling block they could put out there. That brother actually believe.
They want us following Haile Selassie with the Rastafarians, man.
Exactly. But check this out, right? This is evidence that proves black people are biblical Israelites, right? As you see, it got Israel and Judah right there, right? Check this out. Since the white man loves DNA so much, he's going to mention how DNA markers in Africa show that the black man has to be a son of Cush and all this crap. Well, look at what actual scientists say about DNA, right? It says DNA evidence, Africans have the biggest genetic diversity in the world, meaning the continent of Africa is the most diverse continent on the planet, which is true. Not all black people come from the same tribe, nor do all black Africans or all Africans have the same DNA. But Herodotus, as you just read, would tell you that all of us is Ethiopians, right? Keep this in mind. That's why all black people look alike. You know what I'm saying? This is where that whole term and that whole concept of white people came from. Because they all used to call us the same damn thing. We was all Ethiopians to them. You understand? And Ethiopian means I burn my face. I burn face. So everybody with a black face was an Ethiopian, according to a Greek or a Roman. So that being said, African Americans and other black people scattered around the world during the slave trade have a different genetic code than other Africans in Africa. Right? So he's going to mention how we're supposed to be Cushites, we're supposed to be Ethiopians, but last I checked, Ethiopians are in Africa. They're the biggest group of people, the most wide-known group that the white historians and scientists like to go to of the people in Africa, because they know that they're probably the only group of people that have been in the same area the whole damn time and ain't go nowhere, that haven't been overcome yet, right? They could have gone to Egypt, but Egypt's now been ransacked by the white man, and it's been ransacked by the Arabs. So the next best place they have to go to, where the people of that ethnicity have been in that region for a very, very long time, if not the whole time, is Ethiopia. So they definitely know what the DNA markers of Ethiopia are, and they just told you that African Americans have different DNA markers than Ethiopians, right? So keep this in mind as well. Let's get back to the video right quick. You got something you want to say right quick, Yaquar?
Go ahead.
All right. Gotta wait on all this stuff to come back up.
For sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer, end quote. Commenting on this verse, fake black Israelite Elisha Israel writes, history undeniably reveals to us who was hoarded on ships and sold on auction blocks as bondmen and bondwomen, as is described in Deuteronomy 26:68.
Oh, hold up. Select you. We fast forwarded. Okay.
Now I want to see how he debunked that.
Yeah, we gonna get there. He ain't gonna debunk it. He's gonna like tiptoe around it. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip
of Egypt, clearly identified
We're gonna skip to this 17. Yeah, that's fine. All right.
In the context of ancient Egypt, Asiatic just meant beyond the borders of Egypt and Africa to the east.
Let's start right here.
Biblical tradition presents the ancestors of the tribes of Israel as a mix of Western Mesopotamian, Aramean and or Amorite, Canaanite, and Egyptian, end quote. Abraham.
So he's telling you that the so-called Israelites, according to white people, white scholars, will be a mix of Mesopotamian because of Abraham, right? There'll be a mix of Egyptian and Ethiopian because of, Egyptian slavery, Canaanite because of us being around the Canaanites and taking over that land. So they're trying to say that we're a mix of all those people, and somehow all those people wouldn't give you a Negro. That's what they're trying to tell you. Which don't make no sense.
They give you a white man. It's gonna give you a white man with curly.
That's what they're telling you. It gotta give you a white man, right? You take people from this part of Africa right here, right? In this part of Mesopotamia, right? And all this right here. And they're supposed to, all this is connected at some point because ain't no Suez Canal. So like this ain't here. So it's all like connected land. You know what I'm saying? When this part have an earthquake, this part have an earthquake, but they supposed to look different. So I don't get it, but we're gonna see.
Abraham, Jacob, Judah, and Judah's Canaanite wife were thus Asiatics. In the context of ancient Egypt, Asiatic just meant beyond the borders of Egypt and Africa to the east. Here are depictions of ancient Asiatics from the tomb of Khnumhotep II from 1900 BC. Clearly, they were not Negroes. Compare these Asiatic men to ancient Egyptian depictions of Negro Nubians, and you can see that they do not look the same. Also, the Egyptian Book of Gates depictions, dated to the 13th century BC, likewise demonstrate Asiatics like Abraham, Jacob, Judah, and Judah's Canaanite wife were not Negroes. What is more, the tomb of Seti I.
Now we gotta get on this. I can't let them get away with that.
Yeah.
So, this Book of Gates, as you see here, they're trying to say the Libyan is an Edomite and the Asiatic is an Edomite. The Nubian is black as hell and the Egyptian is a regular black man. Okay? So, keep this all in mind. He's trying to say this is us. This right here. How many people hopped off the slave ship look like this? Be real with yourself now. Right? The brothers who realized we don't look like this are the niggas who became Egyptologists once they was in the Nubian movement in the 90s. They're the niggas who was like the Sinettas and the Sarah Suit Setis, because Sarah Suit Seti a light skinned nigga. He about damn near this complexion right here. So he's like, ain't no way I could be this nigga. I gotta be Egyptian, right? So this is how they got our people confused. And then the people who actually did their research found out that the Asiatic don't actually look like this. So then they start calling themselves Asiatic black men. You feel me? Then they start coming up with the 7% movement and the more science movement and all this other stuff. So I want to show you guys a picture right quick. Because he says Asiatics look like, crackers.
They even try to put fringes on the white boy. That's a good job they did. They tried that.
Man. Trash.
It looked like they drew on a beard with that, man.
They're funny. You're gonna see a lot of the pictures here is like it's stuff that make you say, damn, like how did he get this? Where did he get it from? Why did he think it was gonna work?
And why he didn't go right to the source? Why he didn't go right to the walls?
He don't want to go to the walls because this general shit won't pop up. Well, I'm gonna go to the walls. What he's gonna try to do is he's gonna take pictures of what the new images of the walls look like. Because I think people don't realize this. They have images that they've taken to make like updated versions of what stuff's supposed to look like. It won't come up. It's not gonna let me show y'all here. This is not cool. Hold up. Alright, I'm gonna have to do it like this thing. My computer is tripping, trying not to let me show you guys this picture. Basically, what it is, it's a picture of, if I can't find it here, then I'm gonna pull it up on the internet. But like I have it, I just don't know why it's not letting me pull it up. But it's a picture of Egypt. It's basically the same picture from the book of Gates that he showed you, but it's the picture from the wall. And you're gonna see that it's been like marked up. They tried to like scrape the color off the images so you can't tell what color the people are, but you can see who's what color in the picture on the wall. So I'm hoping that it's gonna show you, but man, they didn't got into my computer or some shit. Hold up. Almost got it.
So even the beard looked like it was drew on, man. Like that picture.
The whole picture is drawn. It's an actual
a painting.
drawing that
Yeah,
he,
somebody
right.
did.
It's like a new fresco painting that they got. Okay, come on, baby. Come on, Mosai. Let me do this. All right. It's not coming up, so we're gonna do this.
What you trying to get?
It's a picture. Let me pull up my email. Y'all can see my email right now. We're gonna go here. Hope it pulls up for you people. These are images, right? Let me see. Is it showing this? Yeah, y'all can see that. Okay, let me zoom into this right quick. Let me zoom in on this. All right, look. Look at this. Oh, it's not. It's tripping. But this picture here, it's wild and it's not letting me zoom in like I want to. But this is supposed to be the Nubian. As you see, it's really dark, right? This is supposed to be the Egyptian right here. This is a brown skinned man, right? Oh, no, I'm lying. This is the Asiatic right here, right? It's clearly got brown skin. This is the Egyptian. His head up here at the top is what the actual image's picture looked like. He's the same complexion as this person. And this person is the same complexion as this. So he's just a tad bit lighter, right? And this is supposed to be, I believe, the Asiatic. So they're trying to say that this person now is an Edomite, straight up white. The Nubian's still super black. The Egyptian is the regular black man now, and this is a white man too, right?
The Libyan
So,
white.
I hope they let me pull up on my other pictures, yo, because this is dirty. This is some dirty stuff. I'll show you. I need to be able to show y'all this shit. My computer is wild, but so I just wanted to show that right quick. If I could pull up these other pictures, then I'm gonna definitely show y'all in just a second. But while I'm trying to do that, I'm gonna play the rest of this.
Proves the same. The Asiatic people were not Negroes. Well, what about the later Israelites themselves? Hayes provides more insight into how the later ancient Israelites looked. He notes they combine the look of the current inhabitants of the Middle East with the representations of the Israelites and other Asiatic peoples in the paintings and monument carvings of the Egyptians and the Assyrians. As mentioned above, numerous Asiatics are depicted in Egyptian art from the Old Testament period. Likewise, numerous Israelites are portrayed in Assyrian sculpture. Jehu, king of Israel, along with several other Israelites, is depicted in the black obelisk of Shalmaneser III. Numerous scenes portraying Israelites are included in the sculptured wall panels from Sennacherib's palace, portraying the siege of the Israelite city of Lachish.
So I have these pictures. He's going to show you one of the pictures of Jehu and everything from the Syrian captivity. He's going to try to say he has a hooked nose, so he's got to be a Jewish person. I have the pictures. If I could get them to pull up. Yeah, I downloaded them on the thing, but they're not.
It's still not coming up.
They're not showing up for me to be able to screen share. That's the problem.
People in these artistic
Hold up. I'm trying to.
Portrayals are, in general, similar in appearance to the Israelis and Arabs living in and around Israel-Palestine today. Indeed, here is the aforementioned ancient Assyrian depiction.
Hold on, y'all. So let me see if I could get him pull up one more time for me. Because I really need to show y'all these. If I can't get them to pull up, then I'm going to have to find them on the internet right quick for y'all. Pull them up so y'all can see them. Salakia for the technical difficulties.
He said if you can't do it like that, press Control and then the plus sign to make it bigger.
Yeah, but I was doing that, and when I had it on the screen, it wouldn't, because of the download, it wouldn't show up or some shit. I don't know what it is, man. I did it with all my other pictures that I showed them in all the other videos, and now it's acting stupid. I don't get it. Like the application window is not showing it for me to be able to show it to them or anything. It's not popping up on the Chrome tabs. It just don't want me to show it.
That gotta be Esau.
Yeah, I'm gonna find them though. We're gonna fast forward. Skip that part and go back to it. Let's jump to this part and we'll go back to it. Just to keep y'all entertained while I look for this. You're gonna lie on Miriam right quick. While you do that, I'm gonna find these pictures.
Than the Judean man and his family. Thus, when fake black Israelites claimed the curly-haired Nubians.
Let me see. I can see this shit. Okay.
In the relief are the Judeans. They are deceiving people. Shem's descendants, the ancient Israelites, were not Negroes. Further evidence the ancient Israelites
go back a little bit.
Can be seen in Numbers 12:1.
So what now?
Go back a little bit because he went to a picture. I got a picture like that in my phone actually.
Which picture?
People.
Right there.
Shem's
yeah, that's the Jehu picture. I have that. I got a zoom in of it. I got both of them to show.
And he said, man, if you, look at, I don't know if y'all can see it, man, them brothers got braids.
Yeah. You know,
these brothers got like Jerry curls, man. They make no, man, they going slap off, man.
Hold on, let me see if I can pull this chunk up.
Where is it?
All right, here we go. Let's see what we can. See if I can put it.
Get the hair texture. Is that not wool? Is that not a woolly beard? And he went off that picture so quick.
Yeah, hold up. All right. Okay, I got this one. Look at this. I want to show y'all something right quick. Why are we talking about Jehu? They're not the pictures I wanted to show, but they're better than nothing. Look at this. No, not that one. Hold up. This one. Look at these. Y'all can see this? Let me see if I can zoom in. All right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, look. So he's in a minute. He's gonna tell you that this man right here, Jehu, who's the king of Israel at the time, see the fringes. And for those of you that's wondering why these Syrians got on fringes too, they used to do that. They used to wear a form of fringes. They didn't look exactly like ours, but they looked similar sometimes. And it wasn't even all of them that did it. It was only the ruling classes. Regular citizens weren't allowed to wear fringes. But I want to show y'all this. He's gonna try to say that Jehu's got a hook nose, right? He's gonna try to say this is a hook. But there's another picture. Here it go, right here. Look at this. There's no hook nose on none of these brothers. right? These are the same guys in the same picture. They got the same garments on, same exact garments. Here he is right here. You know what I'm saying? It's just because they depicted it, because they're chiseling this junk. This is a stone carving. So
You can see they playing with it too, man.
right, you know what I'm saying? So and it, like, as you look online, I don't even know if this one of the original pictures, because this one looks different than this one. You feel what I'm saying? These don't look the same. They're supposed to be depicting the same thing though. His nose and his head and his face is completely different here. I'm almost gonna say this is the real one right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this one with the big ass nose is the one that they're trying to say is a Edomite, the fake Jew. You know what I'm saying? And then this is another version of the real one that we saw before the fake Jew. That's why they ain't got no hook nose. None of their nose are even really distinct. You understand what I'm saying? Because not only did the white man mess with our pictures that were painted, here we are with different fringes on, right? But Jehu is still here in the front or in the middle, still doesn't have a hook nose, still the regular ass nose. You understand what I'm saying? And he's gonna try to say that they got straight hair, but really what this is braids and stuff like that. That's just backwards, right? The way the way that Assyrians used to depict their art, if you don't realize it, even like foreign people, they would always depict with the same type of hair as them. The Romans did the same thing, because it's like when you're chiseling and you're learning how to do chisel art, the person that's teaching you, if they only know how to make hair a certain type of way, that's going to be the way you learn how to make hair. If they only know how to make a nose a certain type of way, that's going to be the way you know, like learn to chisel a nose. So Assyrians, because all of they like uh famous people, you know, all their stars and everything had long hair with the long beards. That's always how they would depict people. Same way with the Greeks. The Greeks always had short, curly looking hair and stuff like that. So even when it was a black man over there and he got an afro, they still give him a curly hairdo. You know what I mean? So the only way you know that he was black is by his nose. That's why they had to start chipping the nose off of things. Only way you know these guys are black is because of their beards. Because the beards on them are different than the Assyrian beards. They gave him like afro, woolly.
Yeah, you see it?
You know what I'm saying? But as opposed to the Assyrians got these big ass long beards. You see this? These are two Assyrian women. This is the Assyrian king right here. And he got this long ass beard. He still got the same type of hair the Israelites got though. You understand what I'm saying? The only way you know that they're the Israelites is because their hair. Well, these are women. I'm lying. These are women. These aren't even Israelites. These are other women that are back in the Assyrian king. So they're here with him, fanning him and everything like that. Jehu has come, presented himself to the altar, right? After they brought their gifts to the king. So this is the Israelites bringing the gifts to the king. You see the men with the beards and everything. Then Jehu is called up to the stage to go bow down to the king of Assyria, Shalmaneser, right? And that's what's going on right here. And you see Shalmaneser with his women, his maidens behind him, and Jehu's in the middle. So they're trying to say that Jehu's bowing down, but the actual picture is this one. You see this? And look, it's two men. Here's the king, that's his lieutenant, that's a woman, and that's a lieutenant. So when they redid the damn image, they didn't even do it right. They did it like they do the damn Last Supper image with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And they got the two women in the picture and stuff. You feel? That's the same junk they did here. The white man sought to paint the likeness of his images. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. They always got to include the women in something. So, moving on. James, just let me know when you gotta go. Right?
Yeah, come.
The ancient Israelites were not Negroes. Further evidence the ancient Israelites were not Negro can be seen in Numbers 12:1, which shows Moses' brother Aaron and his sister Miriam got upset that Moses married a Negro woman.
Now I want you to check this out, right? This is supposed to be Moses. This is supposed to be Moses' wife, right? He's gonna try to make the argument that Moses, his sisters got mad, or his sister and his brother got mad at Moses for marrying a black woman. And that's the reason that the Most High is gonna punish Miriam by making her leprous. But his argument is gonna be that he made her go from a regular white to a ghost white. And that's what the damn curse was, right? So just listen how dumb this nigga is.
Quote, Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses because of the Cushite woman whom he had married, for he had married a Cushite woman, end quote. Scholars note the Cushites were, as we've already noted, black Africans. For example, biblical scholar J. Daniel Hayes notes, it is clear that Moses marries a black African woman, end quote. Likewise, Yamauchi notes, the Cushite woman was no doubt dark-skinned, end quote. Hence, the reason Aaron and Miriam spoke against Moses marrying a Cushite was because she was black and the Israelites were not. If Moses, Aaron...
Did you hear that? The reason, he said that the reason that Aaron and Miriam was mad at Moses wasn't because we're Israelites and Moses gave them a law not to marry other nations in Deuteronomy 7:1, and he still got with a Cushite woman, right? That ain't what the reason was that they got mad. They got mad simply because she's black and they weren't.
Hey, let me show an image real quickly. Because they
and then after you get the image, get Exodus chapter 4 verse 6 right quick when you finish.
Because they be trying to switch the images. I mean, like the word play on it when it says leprous, white as snow. Now when you look up leprous, it's not the same leprous that's in the Bible. To find that leprous, you got to go to it's called vitiligo. And look, this is how
vitiligo.
That's probably how Miriam turned like that. Yeah. Same as Moses' hand. This is a real skin condition that happened to our people.
That's what they call the Michael Jackson disease. Mm-hmm. That's what he had that made him want to bleach his skin so that he wouldn't look like that, sister. My great grandmother had that disease. You know what I'm saying? And by the time I met her, she was already all the way white skinned. But she got features like a black woman. You could tell she's black.
Yeah, you could tell, but
she don't have the skin complexion of a black woman.
You get even seeing in that woman.
None of it's fact, but we're gonna prove it's not fact. We're gonna prove everything he said was a damn lie, right? He's trying to say that Moses was white and that Miriam was white and Aaron was white and that she was turned leprous because she got on him for getting with a black woman. In fact, I want him to finish his statement. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to interrupt the heathen in the midst of his speech. Let's let him finish.
Aaron and Miriam were all black. Aaron and Miriam would not object to Moses marrying a black woman. Therefore, the ancient Israelites, like Moses.
So if y'all just missed what he just said, he said if Miriam and Aaron were both black, they wouldn't object to him marrying a black woman. So again, he's trying to infer that they're objecting to him having a black woman, right?
What scripture is that?
We're gonna prove why they were objecting the person, right? But that's what they're trying to do. So we're gonna prove that emphatically. But I want to let him just finish this last little part.
Were not black. Because of this racial prejudice against blacks from Moses' brother and sister, Numbers 12:10 goes on to tell us that God got angry and gave Miriam leprosy, turning her skin extreme ghost white as a punishment. Quote, when the cloud removed from over the tent, behold, Miriam was leprous like snow. And Aaron turned toward Miriam, and behold, she was leprous, end quote.
So look, the cracker just said that Aaron saw Moses, she was leprous, but the only reason she was turned leprous is because she got on Moses for being with a black woman, and that there's already a racial prejudice between blacks and Jewish people, as he would put it. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to infer here. So let's
like this, man. Have Miriam looking like that.
Look at that. You see that? But let's prove it, though. Let's prove it. Keep this picture in mind. Let's get what the brother Moses looked like, because there's also an instance in the Bible says this is Milk Monday, right? Some of y'all might not have heard this before. Most of you should have if you've been studying, right? But give me Exodus chapter 4, verse 6.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 4 and verse 6.
And by the way, this is when the video is going to start to get crazy. So if y'all was getting bored before, I'm sorry, but the boring part's over. Now everything he said from here on out is going to be so funny. It's going to be hilarious because it don't make no damn sense. Go ahead.
Okay. And Yahweh said furthermore unto him, put now thy hand into thy bosom.
So Moses is being told to put his hand in his shirt, right? Go ahead.
And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was leprous as snow.
So he puts his hand in his shirt, he take it out, he got vitiligo. You know what I'm saying? Like, think like that. Go ahead.
And he said, put thine hand into thy bosom again. And he put his hand into his bosom again. And plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
So it's turned again as his other flesh, right? That was to say, if you know what leprosy looks like, which you should, now he's going to try to say in the video, leprosy is boils, because that's the new age definition that the white man is giving you, right? They're trying to tell you now that leprosy is boils, and vitiligo is what it's called when your skin turns another color. That's why they've created what they call vitiligo instead of calling it leprosy now. That's why, so that they can make the biblical argument that Moses and Miriam didn't have leprosy. You know what I'm saying? They weren't turned white. Miriam had boils on her skin. You know what I'm saying? But he knows that don't make sense. So he said that she was turned ghost white. Okay?
That's crazy.
So, yeah. So go ahead and is that it on that?
Come.
All right. So I'm gonna let him. He gonna say something the very next thing he gonna say is crazy too. So I wanna let him say that so we could debunk it.
This further confirms Moses, Aaron, and Miriam were not Negroes, but instead Aaron and Miriam got corrected by God for being prejudiced against Negroes.
So let me ask you a question, right? What would the correction be by God for being prejudiced against Negroes if they're white by making them more white? What sense does that make? Wouldn't it make sense, if anything, if they were white, to make them black so that she at least feel bad for talking about black people? Right? Like the Christians that make this argument, they'll say leprosy is when you get turned black. That's where the Mormons got that whole curse from, right? They'll try to say that you turn it's a black leprosy. That's why black people have this skin, because it's a curse. But he didn't even go that route with it. He just said that her curse for talking about black people was being turned she got turned into Snow White. You know what I'm saying? So it just don't make no sense. But check out what he's about to say about Jeremiah. Listen to this.
Confirmed by Old Testament scholar and Hebraist Stephen L. Mackenzie, who in the Oxford Guide to People and Places in the Bible notes, Miriam's becoming as white as snow with leprosy seems appropriately ironic punishment for her criticism of Moses' marriage to a black woman, end quote.
Now, if you read what he said here, that doesn't say anything about her being turned Snow White. It just says Miriam's becoming as white as snow was with leprosy seems appropriately ironic. You know what I'm saying? Why would it be appropriately ironic? Because she was a black person.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Which means it didn't have nothing to do with him marrying a black woman. So even the person who wrote this wrote how ironic it was, but he didn't even truly know why it's ironic. Because what did Brother Yahweh just say before he got off, right? That the wicked would not understand. They read it all day long. They try to come to the conclusion of the book and they can't do it. They don't understand what it's about. They come to conclusions like this. If you leave the Bible in the hands of a white man, he'll tell you that Miriam was turned leprous and she was already white.
Man, hey, so like you leave the Bible up to the white man, they're gonna tell you we eating apples butt naked, a slithering snake beguiled Eve,
and she covered herself with a leaf.
Come on, man. That's what they teach, man.
She covered herself with a leaf in the Most High, thinking that was gonna hide her sins.
Even look at this picture. This look like the picture where Moses cracked the rock, man. Look how stupid it looked.
Is that what that's supposed to be?
That's what it looked like.
Damn, that is what that's supposed to be. That don't even look like a rock. I thought that was in the woods or something. Damn. Okay. See?
Hence Moses and the Israelites
let me fast forward. I want to hear this mess. Where did Jeremiah at? He gonna say something about Jeremiah 23.
The Israelites were Negroes like the Cushites. Then why would the skin of the Cushites be emphasized?
Rewind just a little bit.
I wonder what he say about Russian icon.
He ain't gonna mention that.
Can the Cushite
at all
change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then also you can do good who are accustomed to do evil. End quote. Now, if Jeremiah and the Israelites were Negroes like the Cushites, then why would the skin of the Cushites be emphasized in this peculiar manner? So if Jeremiah and the Israelites...
So this idiot, once again, you leave the Bible in the white man's hands. This is the type of conclusions that he comes up with, right? He says, because Jeremiah 13:23 says, can the Cushite change his skin or the leopard his spots? That is talking about, or that it has to mean that the Israelites didn't look nothing like the Cushites. Because if it did, it would just say, can the Israelites change his skin? You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this, right? With his understanding, for all the Christians watching right now, James, give me Amos chapter 9, verse 7 right quick.
Okay.
Because if this scripture right here, Jeremiah 13:23, can the Cushite change his skin, right? It's supposed to mean that the Israelites, it's the Most High talking down on the Cushites because they're black, and they're saying they can't turn into white people, right? And he's trying to say that the Israelites are nothing like the Cushites, so they can't be the same skin complexion, right? Read what that says. Tell me what that says.
It's the book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 7. Are ye not as the children of the Ethiopians unto me?
Wait, hold up. Wait, time out. But he said, can the Cushites change his skin? Because the Cushites ain't supposed to be nothing like the Israelite. Ain't that what he just... Hold on, let me rewind so y'all can hear what he said. I think that's what he said. I don't want to misquote him. This is the type of conclusions that they come up with, right? Let's let him read it again.
You can do good who are accustomed to do evil. End quote. Now, if Jeremiah and the Israelites were Negroes like the Cushites, then why would the skin of the Cushites be emphasized in this peculiar manner? So if Jeremiah and the Israelites were black like Cushites, then wouldn't Jeremiah just say, can the Israelite change his skin? What is more, a Jewish synagogue dated to...
So you know, if the Israelites were black, wouldn't they just say that you know, can't the why can't the Israelite change his skin, right? But what exactly does Amos 9 and 7 say again?
Huh.
Just looking at it from his understanding. Go ahead.
Are ye not as the children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel?
So if he read this scripture, I wonder what he would think, because he might think, judging by the last scripture he said, you know what I'm saying, this right here, going off his understanding, actually means that the Israelites are like the Ethiopians unto God. So what does that mean? Does that mean we the same color now? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think, right? Give me Exodus 11 and 7. Give me Exodus 11 and 7. And while he's getting that, I want to show y'all two pictures right quick, because this is important. Remember what I said earlier about Egypt and Ethiopia being like intertwined with each other biblically? They're also intertwined historically, right? Look at what Southern...
I think he got kicked off, y'all. I think he might have got kicked off again. But I was looking at this, man. This is Russian icon, right? This book costs almost $2,000, right? Can y'all hear me? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me real quick. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. Okay, Khan. Y'all's son said he can hear me, right? So you buy the antique Russian icon book, right? It says for $4,000, this one. And they got an image of David, man. Tell me if this picture of David is a white boy, man. Is this a white boy? The man, David got a fro and a beard, man, with the scripts in his hand. I'm gonna kill these boy, man. They got you again, out of one.
They doing me dirty every Monday. Never fails. They get me like the damn siren be getting us at camp, yo.
Yeah, I was showing them this picture of David in the Russian icon. They say this is David in the Russian icon.
Yeah, see, he don't even, the man's not gonna mention the Russian icon. He gonna mention all this other stuff that we believe in, but he won't mention it. Right? He only mentions Zondervan because he think he got something to refute it. The pictures of the Ethiopians that you guys saw that he brought up earlier, the real dark-skinned ass Ethiopians, right? They look like this. These are the Ethiopians that they tried to say are the people that we're related to, right? Well, some of us, right? These are the southern Ethiopians. Okay, you see, they look brown skinned, they look African, Bantu-ish. You know what I'm saying? This is a band. Damn, bro, that's some crazy shit. All right, but look, so and then there's these Ethiopians who the Egyptians would have been, or remnant of the ruling class Egyptians. Where it is at? Where is this picture? Here it goes. Highland. So look at this one. See them? When you see the real Egyptian looking people, not the Arab looking Egyptians, but the real one, this is kind of what they look like, right? And you got to keep in mind that Ethiopians or the Nubians ran Egypt for like multiple times as well, and lived in the area the entire time too. They didn't just stay in Ethiopia; they lived in Egypt as well. So while we were in the land, if we were mixing with any of them, I promise you, we mixed with some of these people too, which is why some of us look alike, right? So this is why the white man in particular, he's always likened us to Ethiopians, because whether it's these Ethiopians or the other ones I showed you previously, they try to say that together we're a mix of both of them, right? But just looking at the two brothers you got on the screen right now, I don't think neither one of us look either Egyptian or Ethiopian. You could tell that we're neither one of the two.
Hey man, if you ask an Egyptian, a true Egyptian or Ethiopian, specifically Ethiopian, are they a Negro? They're gonna tell you hell no. They're gonna tell you hell no, they not Negro. They have no Negro descent.
And yeah, sis, or brother, whoever that is, yeah, Yashara's young lion, brother. That the real Egyptians are in Kenya and Uganda too, but those are like the real Mizraimites, you know what I'm saying? The actual Egyptians. But the reason I brought up the Ethiopians is because the white man is trying to say we're Ethiopian. He's saying we're not the Egyptians, right? Mm-hmm. But he's also saying the people in Kenya and Uganda ain't the Egyptians either, because they look too much like the Nubians. So he's trying to say that the Egyptians, from his understanding, would have been the highland Ethiopians that I just showed you, the lighter skinned ones, right? So that's who he's trying to say that the actual Egyptians are, based on his understanding. So I just showed you those two pictures to show you that, you know, the first one is who he says we come from, which is the southern Ethiopians, which would be closer to the people in Kenya and Uganda and stuff like that, the real Egyptians. And then you have the Nubian, the Haile Selassie looking people, you know what I'm saying? The highland Ethiopians. So
it's so much contradiction in his doctrine, because even the people in West Africa don't look like the Egyptians or the Ethiopians. And
that's who we're supposed to be, right?
That's crazy.
So, but he gonna say, nah, y'all ain't even from West Africa, because you know we're not from West Africa. He knows nobody's from West Africa because he took science class. I guarantee you, the man knows about the Pleistocene epoch, because white scientists teach that nobody lived in in West Africa right after the Pleistocene epoch. So nobody's actually originated in West Africa. So everybody from Africa is only from the East. So now they're trying to make the arguments that if you're from the East, all the black people have to be emphatically from Ethiopia. Not even the Egyptians, because Egypt was too powerful of a nation for us to be Egypt, so they want us to be the Ethiopians. Give me. Oh, you got Exodus 11:7?
Come on.
Yeah, grab that right quick.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue.
Right.
Against any man or beast, that ye may know how that Yahweh doeth put a difference between Egyptians and Israel.
Right. And when it says the Egyptians here, they weren't just talking about the Egyptians. they're also talking about the Ethiopians because they were one and the same to our people, right? They lived in the same area. And I'm going to prove this with some more scriptures because prove the future of Ethiopia, right? All the prophecies that show the future of Egypt, they're all, well, I mean, all the prophecies that show the future of those two countries together, they're all together, they're all intertwined, right? Whenever the Most High says he gave us Egypt, he also says he gave us Ethiopia or Sheba. Whenever he says Ethiopia is going into change, he mentions Egypt with them because together they were the same people, right? It wasn't just the Egyptians that had us in slavery, Ethiopia did too. Why y'all think we got such a quarrel against the Cushites, right? And they ran Babylon, the original, right? Before the flood. Nimrod was a Cushite. So this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. Like, they've always been one and the same, intertwined with each other. So this has to be understood, right? Somebody said they can't hear. Can y'all hear? Put a 1 in the chat. You can hear me, right, James?
Can I hear you? What?
Okay. But yeah, go ahead. You continue on that.
Just like that drop. Verse 8.
Oh, you already read 7. That was all 7. Give me Acts 21:38 right quick, because I want to show something else. Right? It wasn't just Miriam who's black and was turned leprous. It wasn't just Moses who got to put his hand in his bosom, and when he took it out, it was like his other skin. All right, cool. So everybody can hear me. You know what I'm saying? It also happened to Paul. And guess what? Paul is around Edomite cracker Caucasians, right? And guess what they said to Paul? The brother's gonna read it. You got that?
What you want? Acts what?
Acts 21:38. 21:38.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse 38.
Somebody said every time I make a point, damn connection drops out. See, bro? Go ahead,
I'm gonna start at 37. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, "May I speak unto thee?"
Mm-hmm.
Who said, "Canst thou speak Greek?"
So look, this white man, this Roman general, is asking little old Paul, who said that he is a Hebrew of the Hebrews from the tribe of Benjamin, so we know he's a brother, right? I'll show you a picture of Paul in a minute. I got it on the computer. Go ahead. He said what? He asked him, can he speak Greek? Why would he ask him to speak Greek if he was already a white man, right? But check this out. Go ahead, continue.
Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days made an uproar and leadest out into the wilderness for 4,000 men that were murderers?
Damn. So he just asked Paul. He just asked Paul if Paul was an Egyptian, right?
Mm-hmm.
He asked Paul if Paul is an Egyptian, but the white man says that Paul is supposed to be an Edomite, right? I wanna let's see, they keep fast forwarding to this other shit that I ain't trying to. I wanna pull up one of them Ethiopian people right quick. He trying to look. He trying to say Paul looked like this nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? The dude asked him, "Are you not that Egyptian?" Mm-hmm. So how you gonna tell me straight up that the man didn't look like this dude?
That's crazy,
right? The white boy in the video is trying to say that the pharaohs and the Egyptians, you know, they weren't white. They look like Nefertiti. This lady don't look like this lady. That's what he said at this part, right? But what do the rest of the Egyptians look like, right? This still a brown-skinned person right here.
Mm-hmm.
These people, these old ugly mummies look just like
that lady, man.
Bro, this look just like the damn Highland Ethiopian. Man, let me show y'all. Y'all seen that ugly dead head right there? Look at this. These ugly alive people. Look at this. Don't that look just like her, bro?
Mm-hmm. Exactly like.
Remember this lady face. Remember this, right? Remember that face. Don't that ugly lady look just like this right here?
Exactly.
He had straight, long hair,
That's a woman.
typical of ancient
Let me pull up his sister. They got a sister that
growth.
look at this.
For example,
Look at this. Same nose and everything. Don't that look the same forehead? That's the lady that I just showed y'all, the Ethiopian woman, right? So that's like, look. So how could you sit here and tell me that these people not black? And Paul is being likened to an Egyptian. Go ahead though. Continue up. What they say?
You want to keep going on that?
Well, like start it over.
Come on. Verse 38. Are not thou that Egyptian?
So he's asking him if he's an Egyptian. He's straight up asking him if you look like this woman right here. Is you one of these people? Huh? Is this your folks? And don't these people ain't they brown skin?
Yo, he basically asked him, excuse my language, but he basically just asked him, ain't you that nigga? That's what he asked.
You speak Greek? Ain't you a nigga? That's basically what he's saying. Like, really? Where they do that at? You speak Greek? That's what he asking the man. And the dude is trying to tell me right now that Paul is a cracker.
Hey, the water young
hit maker. I caught young hitter. I'm wild. But let me get Isaiah 20 and 4. I want to show them something about Ethiopia and Egypt right quick. Because look, man, look. First the man in Jeremiah 13:23 tries to say that Jeremiah said that he tried to say that Jeremiah is saying that the Cushite got it. The Most High asking if the Cushite could change his skin is talking about the Cushite being black and the Israelites not being black. But what it's actually talking about is, can the Cushite not be a Cushite no more? Because as you see, the Cushite's been trying to change his skin since 1948, right? Ever since the white man decided to be an Israelite, guess who else want to hop on the bandwagon? Cush. We got Ethiopian Jews now. Cush is trying to change his skin. Oh, we're not Ethiopian, we're Ethiopian Jews. Yeah, we have the Ark of the Covenant. It's hidden away somewhere where we can't even find it. In Ethiopia. We have the Book of Enoch. Yes. You know what I'm saying? That's Ethiopians. They're trying to change their skin. But they still brown. You can see that by going there, bro. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead and read that. This is to prove why Exodus 11 and 7 says that there's a difference between Israel and Egypt, right? It ain't just the fact that we're in close proximity to each other. It ain't just the fact that we're both brown skinned. It's the fact that the same way Paul got mistaken for one, right? The same way Yahushua was able to blend in with them. The same way that Moses was able to blend in and be mistaken by one or as one, right? Is the same way that it's all because of the fact that we look like them to an extent, right? To white people, we was all Ethiopians. If you had a quote unquote burnt face, you was an Ethiopian person. You're an Egyptian, right? Because Ethiopian and Egyptians are intertwined with each other throughout history. Go ahead and read that out.
Verse 4?
Yeah, 20 and 4.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 20 and verse 4. So shall the king of Assyria lead away the Egyptians prisoners and the Ethiopians captives.
Oh, wait, read that again.
So shall the king of Assyria lead away the Egyptians prisoner.
So he said that the king of Assyria gonna lead away the Egyptians prisoner and
the Ethiopians captives.
So as if he's trying to say, like, you know how the Most High says, and they will lead Israel away and Judah captive, something like that. He's talking about the whole of Israel. He's saying the same thing about Egypt and the Ethiopians, as if to say they're the same, right? Don't the white man liken us to Ethiopians? Didn't the Most High say there's a difference between Egypt and Israel? Because there's a difference between all three of the nations in its entirety together. Egypt is supposed to be Ethiopia is supposed to be like Egypt, and we're by ourselves. So together, since they were ruling with each other, Egypt and Ethiopia has been mixing with each other the whole time, because since the beginning of their two civilizations, they've been around each other, right? Even if you look at the land masses that they have, according to the map that the white man made, where the lands were allotted to, Egypt and Ethiopia right next to each other there too. So that's all stuff that you have to understand. So they're like literally together. They're one and the same. That's the reason why they always liken all black people to either Egyptians or Ethiopians, which is the same reason why black people have been swayed by the Nubian Asiatic movement and now the Egyptology movement. And once they hop off that, they just African. They're Ethiopian. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Once they hop off that, they RBG, red, black, and green. You know what I'm saying? This is what they've done. This is the type of things they've created as stumbling blocks, and a lot of our people are still stumbling. And the white man uses the fact that a lot of our people are still stumbling as a way to keep the majority of you guys at bay. Because if they could prove to some of you that you're Ethiopians, then the rest of you, well, the some of you that they proved it to are going to teach that you're Ethiopians, and you're going to try to make up whatever BS you can make up, whatever fake article that the white man puts on the internet, and y'all are gonna push it as if it's real, and people are gonna fall for it. Right? That's what happened with the Nawabi movement. That's what happened with the Moorish science movement. That's what happened with the Pan-Africanist movement. That's what happened with the Moorish Egyptology, and now it's happening, or it happened with the Nubian movement. You know what I'm saying? All of these different movements. Some of them aren't around like anymore. Some of them got smaller. Some of them morphed into other things. But regardless, yeah, Rastafarians too. So it's all one and the same. These are things that they've tried to do to try to sway us from the true understanding of who we are. So now they're like, if we could get them to believe that they're from East Africa, right? We know that there's plenty of scholars that know that Africa used to include Israel at some point in time, right? In fact, I was reading something today that said that all scholars in Europe thought that Africa and Egypt, that Israel was connected to Africa into the 1700s, because they didn't make the Suez Canal till 1880 something. So yeah, so like that's something that got to be understood there, right? If all of the scholars are thinking that Israel and Africa are on the same continent to the 1700s, then they also had to be thinking that the people in the area look the same too, or should look the same. And once they realize, oh, they don't, because Alexander the Greek people is here. All these people look light-skinned now. Mm-hmm. Let's dig a big old hole in the ground and make it seem like they was always light-skinned this whole time, right? Yeah, then let's start to go through the lens and rewrite the images and repaint the images of the people there to make them look more light-skinned. Let's bleach the pictures and stuff like that on the walls to make the paint come off so that it looked like we can't really distinguish these people were dark brown or if they were Middle Eastern brown, as they like to say now, right? You want to say something about?
Yeah, kind of. I was gonna say how they changed the lands in Egypt, like cities. Alexandria, they know damn well ain't no city named Alexandria there, man. Huh. They go to changing a lot of things. That's what when that them 4 dynasties that came out of Greek, man, when they went and conquered that side of the world, man, they did damage over there, man. You gotta read that history in the Maccabees, man. They did damage over there. They turned the land inside out.
He's talking about the Diadochi, Alexander's generals, and what they did afterwards. That's real history, man. It's all there. It's all there. But also get Isaiah 43:3. Let's continue on these Ethiopians right quick. Okay. We're almost done with this video. I ain't gonna show too much more of this crap.
Just the book of Isaiah, chapter 43 and verse 3. For I am Yahweh thy power, the Holy One of Israel.
Right, so he's the Most High, our power. So like he the Most High, our power, the Holy One of Israel. Right, he's our Savior. All that is possessive. Go ahead.
I gave Egypt for thy ransom.
Okay, so Egypt is for our ransom, right? They like data reward. Go ahead.
Ethiopia and Sebia for thee.
And he said that they coming too. So not only do we get Egypt, we also get Ethiopia and Sheba, right? Go ahead. Oh, give me Ezekiel 29:10. That's the last one. And I'm gonna get back to the video.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 29 and verse 10. Behold, therefore I am against thee and against thy rivers, and I will make the land of Egypt utterly waste. And the desolate from the tower of Syene, even unto the border of Ethiopia.
So I mean, like, it's plain right there. You know what I'm saying? The Most High is going to punish Egypt and Ethiopia together, right? We're gonna get one and the other. You understand what I'm saying? Let me see if I can pull this up right quick. Proof. Okay, yeah, this is good enough. Let me show this right quick before we could. Well, let me go here, and then we're gonna get to the good part about the curses, and then we're gonna end it. I'll answer questions or whatever. Check this out.
Put in a basket in the river, discovered by the daughter of the Egyptian pharaoh, and then adopted by the Egyptians. Based on the false assumption, the ancient Egyptians.
Yeah. You saw how they made the women look, right? The Egyptian women that found Moses.
It's crazy, man.
They was white women. Y'all saw that? That's supposed to be Moses.
Put in a basket in the river, discovered by the daughter of.
Those are the Egyptian women that found Moses, right?
Oh man.
Even in damn Disney's movie, The Prince of Egypt, they was darker than that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is just, they get lighter over time. This is this is how big of a devil the white man is, man. He told the truth in a Disney movie 22 years ago, but now he got to make up lies like this, right? So, and it's people that ain't seen that movie. That's why this is able to be like, this is belief. It's believable now.
Egyptian pharaoh, and then adopted by the Egyptians. Based on the false assumption the ancient Egyptians were Negro, the fake black Israelite writer.
And like the brother earlier was saying, Yawal was saying, they have to show you these militant-looking images to make us look bad, to put a certain, to perpetrate some certain theory into your mind, especially if you're a white person, that this is all we about. We just out here on the streets looking like this, holding pictures of white man like that, just screaming at people on the streets with a Bible in our hand. That's what they want people to get in their head when they see the Israelites. That's all we're going to be doing.
Elisha Israel thus argues, the daughters of Ruel mistook Moses for an Egyptian. Furthermore, if the Israelites appeared unlike the Egyptians, Moses would have been unable to live among the household of the Pharaoh that sought the death of all the newly born Israelite males.
Which is true.
Just as Jesus was hidden among the Egyptian population during the days of Herod, end quote. So the question is, were the ancient Egyptians Negroes? Based on examining ancient Egyptian anthropology, mummies, sculptures, paintings, and inscriptions.
Hold on,
Go ahead.
He basically trying to say, are the ancient Egyptians black? But he's saying the Cushites are black, but they come from the same father.
That's a good point. And he put up a sign earlier that said it, didn't he? In fact, what he said was that, in fact, he lied on the little chart he showed earlier. He said that Cush is the father of all of the black races. Not him, but Cush himself.
That's crazy.
Cush is the dad of Mizraim, Cush the dad of Put, Cush the dad of Canaan. You know what I'm saying? Cush is the dad of Libya. So that's what he's trying to say. And check this out, though. This is a scholar who's an Asian man who's supposed to know more than we know.
Cush and Ethiopian is actually, they brothers. Cush and Mizraim, they brothers, ain't it?
Yes, they're brothers. Exactly. That's why I showed you, right? You got the dark-skinned Ethiopians who are supposed to look like Mizraim, and then you got the light-skinned Ethiopians who most people consider to be what the Ethiopians look like today. The dark-skinned ones are and then you got like the Somali people. They're the ones who basically mixed with because he's going to talk about that type of stuff, but he doesn't have his understanding of what it is actually true. He's going to I'm not going to show that to you. But
hey, let me pull this scripture real quick out of one, just for edification's sake, man. Just to prove what we're saying. This is Genesis 10 and 6. And the sons of Ham, Cush, which will be the Ethiopians, Mizraim, It's like a Cush and Mizraim, which would be the Egyptians, and then you got Foot and then Canaan. These is brothers.
Bam. See that? These is brothers. These is brothers. And the picture that he chooses here, I promise you, if I went online and found the real one, it's darker than this.
Exactly.
It looked more like this. You know what I'm saying? The Egyptian is more his complexion, and this is the Nubian.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And they drew the Nubians like this on purpose to make sure that we knew the difference between the Nubians and the Egyptians, because not all Egyptians wore the little pharaoh hat or whatever it's called, right? So some of them would just be depicted as something like this, and you would have to know the difference. So instead of them drawing everybody the same complexion and the same color, they always made the Nubians jet black, and they gave them these big ass lips. You know what I'm saying? So, and what he's gonna try to say is, since we got big ass lips, we these people, we the jet black people with the big ass lips, and these people have become white folks now. As you saw the picture of the people that was dealing with Moses. You know what I'm saying? The people that found him.
Art showing how Egypt.
Hey, Tawada Tasabah for the donation.
The water for that.
So, as light brown-skinned people, compared to how they depicted Nubians or Cushites as black-skinned Negro people. Clearly, there is a difference, which proves the ancient Egyptians were.
Now, I want to show y'all something. These aren't Nubians. These are Israelites. He just showed you guys a picture and don't even know what the hell he just showed you. And I'm going to prove it. These are Israelites right here, right? That are bringing tribute to whatever pharaoh that they're serving at the time. This a nigga who got bleached, right? The color came off. This is a dark-skinned nigga, right? This is a regular skinned nigga. So they are just brown-skinned people. These are new images of this type of stuff. You can even tell that the images are new, looking at the way that the print of the picture look, right? It clearly looks newer, which means that it's a painting from modern day times, and they put white people in it. The actual Egyptians wouldn't have drew nobody that looked like this. This is all stuff that happened after Alexander the Great's time and further. This is Ptolemy's work.
Look, this is an actual wall.
Right.
Look at the Egyptians.
Look at this. The actual wall, they had to scrape that junk off the wall. It's actual, like it's cut out. It's a cutout picture. You know what I'm saying? It's a cutout piece of the wall, and the colors are literally coming off. But you could tell that they brown skin. Same color as me. That dude the same color as I am, yo. Same color as James. You know what I'm saying? So it's clearly a Negro. Negro just means brown skin. You know what I'm saying? An Ethiopian would be a Negro. Egyptian would be a Negro. A Bantu would be a Negro. Yoruba would be a Negro. Right? If you ask a Greek person, anybody with brown skin is an Ethiopian or a Negro. A damn East Indian, if they dark enough, would be a Negro or Ethiopian. But they're from India. You understand what I'm saying? To a Greek person. So this is all stuff he's not explaining to you. But I got that evidence too.
Not Negroes. The Hamite Cushites were. In other ancient Egyptian art, for example, at the
I'm trying to fast forward to where he said that what the Israelites looked like in Egypt, because this is funny. Hold on. Oh, look. You see this? This is clearly a new picture. They got one Nubian woman, and then all these supposed to be Egyptians, and they look like damn Issacharite sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they said the Egyptians is supposed to look like.
This was a mixed society, with the majority being light brown-skinned Native Egyptians. In regards to this light brown-skinned majority in ancient Egypt, Professor of Old Testament Robert A. Bennett explains, quote, "In terms did not come from Egypt, so it is erroneous to point to them and claim all Native Egyptians were Negro. This Negro Herodotus wrote, this way has no more truth in it than the rest, alleging as it does."
I just showed you guys Herodotus also said something he didn't tell you guys, is that Herodotus likened all black people to Ethiopians. He wasn't trying
Greek, right?
to Ethiopians, huh?
Is it Herodotus is a Greek or a Roman? Roman?
I don't even know
that last name, like Herod.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I ain't never looked that up.
I'm gonna see real quick. What it is. Oh, go ahead.
I never cared enough about his ass to find out where he was. Okay. I want to see what the Israelites in Egypt look like. Here we go. Check this out.
He's from Greece. He's a Roman.
He's a Greek?
Yeah, he's from Greece, but he was doing the Roman Empire though.
Oh, okay, all right.
Wigs, and these groups confuse them with Negro hair. However, as the work Historical Wig Styling confirms,
oh look, so he says that some black Hebrew Israelites, as he calls us, tries to look at pictures on the walls of Egypt and say that they're Negroes that are served in captivity here. But he says that what has to be understood is that these Negroes weren't, these brown-skinned people that are the same complexion as current-day African Americans, they're not Negroes. They're actually Egyptians that wear wigs. And the wigs are in the shape of locks or braids. That's what he said. That he can explain.
Egyptian women, Egyptian men usually shave their heads and
hey, DMC, the water for the donation.
The water, much love, man.
or wigs. Likewise, the work Empire of Ancient Egypt confirms long braided wigs were very fashionable among the wealthy women of ancient Egypt. Both books provide ancient illustrations of
now
such
you
wigs.
You tell me if this thing look anything like what we just seen in them pictures where the women had braids.
That probably didn't start happening to the Ptolemy dynasty when they was putting all them white women in there, man.
Don't this look like a white woman? And she got to wear a wig to make her look like a black woman. So it's like the equivalent of the white girls that's in the hood that wear the little micro braids. You know what I'm saying? They get their hair done at the salon. They talk like the bad bitty chick, whatever her name is, the girl from Dr. Phil.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They wear the long nails that's like this long, and they wear micro braids, but they're white girls. You know what I'm saying? This is the equivalent of that. This is the wig that they put on to try to make themselves. This is the Kim Kardashian of her time. This is the Kylie Jenner of the Ethiopian era and the Egyptian era. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else trying to look like us and profiting off of it. So, because he told you that it was a thing for the wealthy women, they would get to wear the wigs that depict Negro hair. So, but we the slaves.
The water says Taya Israel, the water for the donation. Much love, sis.
Con. Look at this. It's literally a wig. You see the wig? It's a cap. It's a cap that's supposed to give you braids. So, all right.
Christ was not a Negro.
Is Jesus a Negro? So I'm not gonna get into that because I showed y'all this mess already. But just so y'all know where to get in it from, I saw this live. This was right before I came into the truth when they did this article, 2015, right? January 23rd, 2015. Literally 1 year after this article came out, I saw the whole documentary live TV on the History Channel. I don't even watch the History Channel, but for some reason I turned it on and they were showing this and I watched it because I thought they was gonna say Jesus was black and they didn't. They said he was brown skinned. At the end of the video, they came up with DJ Khaled. So they did this in 2015. They did a whole structural face thing with these white anthropologists and stuff, and they said that Jesus was a 5'4" hunchback DJ Khaled looking dude. Literally, this is what they say he looked like. So, yeah, this guy right here was the man who reconstructed Jesus's face.
Of course,
he came up with this picture right here.
Evidence Christ was not a Negro can be found in a fairly recent forensic anthropological study conducted by scientists and archaeologists, such as expert in ancient facial reconstruction, Richard Neve, of the University of Manchester. Neve has helped reconstruct the faces of many ancient persons, including King Midas of
So he can reconstruct crackers, right? You're like one of the vampires from Blade or something.
1000 BC. Nesyamun, the Egyptian mummy of 1000.
This is an Egyptian mummy who also looks like an Edomite with brown skin. Do you see this? do you see this? Right? I don't know no nigga that looks like him. He just got short hair, well, no hair. He's a bald head white guy with brown skin, basically. That's what he made. And he made his upper lip a little bit puffy.
That.
That's all he did.
In 100 BC, and Philip II of Macedon of 400.
And then Alexander the Greek, that of course looked perfectly like himself, right?
BC. The study took note of the fact that Jesus looked like an average Galilean Semite, based on Matthew 26's discussion of Jesus' arrest. They then gathered ancient skulls from Jerusalem in order to study and determine the facial features of people of Jesus' time and area. They used various scientific techniques to create a 3D face. For example, they were able to accurately recreate the muscles and skin over the skull using forensic computer techniques. To determine Jesus' hair and skin color, they consulted.
All right, I don't hear some more. But yeah, so that's what they did. The water Jasmine for the donation.
The water, all praises.
Yeah, so I want y'all to take into account what he said, though, right? The anthropologist made this depiction. This is what made me mad, because even before I came into the truth, I knew that the people over there they only looked the way they looked because of mixture with white people, right? So he clearly told you that they came up with this image based on Jesus looking like, or based on the average look of quote unquote Semites in the Middle East and Israel today, right? So he takes a Khazarian skull, puts it next to somebody. He takes an Ashkenazi Jew skull, puts it on the table, and then tries to depict the image of Jesus Christ using these two skulls. And he comes up with this. And you're wondering why. It's because neither one of them people whose skulls he used to construct this skull are the people who actually lived in the region. Right? So these are things that we got to keep in mind. Don't make no sense. This is what Esau does. Yeah, exactly. See, this is very racist science. But I want to fast forward past this part. Y'all can watch that on your own if y'all want to see it. I don't want to get into that. Oh, I did want to show y'all this though. Before we leave past the Ethiopians and the Egyptians and stuff. Let me show y'all these pictures.
That's Sister Right. That look like a caveman. That's right, sis. They're not.
I mean, the picture of just the face don't do it justice, but when you see the whole body, because they made a whole body description of it. They used the book of Josephus, when Josephus tried to say that Jesus was 4 foot tall or something like that, 5'4". You say he was a short dude. And
now, how they gonna deal with all the Jews that say they converted to that religion or was brought there?
I don't know. They never mention that part. They don't ever get that far with it.
Yeah, I work with a lot of Jews. I work with a lot of Jews, and all of them say the same thing. I converted. My family converted. We changed. I've heard them say this. We had to change our last name to be more Jewish. So once we converted, we had to fit.
I heard one tell me that before too.
I've heard this before live at work, man.
Look at these. All right. They swear up and down that he'll show you this picture, right?
Yeah, he'll show that one.
He'll show you this one. But he won't show you this one. Don't they look a little bit darker in this picture?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the difference. He'll show you this Photoshop carbon copy picture, but he won't show you this one. And this is still a picture where they was made like. This still isn't the original one. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So look at the rest of these. See how dark the brothers is. Let me see if I can pull up. Let me get. See, I could see like the Egyptologists tell you we didn't do no brick and mortar work, but here they are. literally brick and mortar, building the pyramids and the treasured cities right in your face. And all of them is brown-skinned Negro lookalikes, right? None of them is these people. You understand what I'm saying? It's all these people up here. You understand what I'm saying? You see this? And here they even got white-looking pharaohs. Here the pharaohs that look white in this picture, but the slaves are still brown-skinned people. So I don't like. And then you got this one, obviously, New Age depiction, the white pharaoh and the white everybody.
Yo, they didn't show me one recent picture of a white Egyptian wearing an ankh. Never seen it before. Never seen a white Egyptian with an ankh. That don't exist, man. That's them dark-skinned Egyptians with the ankh. Just how they got an ankh right there in them pictures.
See, this that
kind of white
Ptolemaic dynasty. It's that Ptolemaic dynasty pic. Here's a white one with the ankh.
Yeah, they trying to. That's they whitewashing that. They whitewashing that hard. You know, damn well that don't look like that, man.
So that's what they did, man. I just wanted to show you that because they'll tell you there wasn't no proof that they black. Here's the Google search I made. It's called Black Israelite Slaves in Egypt. That's all I typed in.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all put that in Google, see what you find. But I want to get on one last part. How much time you got?
Go ahead. We'll be all right.
I ain't gonna keep you too much longer. I'm gonna finish. Fast forward. Here he's trying to say that Jesus isn't white. You know what I'm saying? We already went through all this stuff. He's gonna bring up pictures of Jews now and all these images from how Jews look now. But y'all have to keep in mind, if you, like in case you're watching this on your own time, you got to keep in mind when he starts bringing up all these images, he's gonna say that all of them date back to like after Yahushua is dead, which means what? That white folks are already in control of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
They've already left. And they've had a chance to open up the books and go to all our treasured cities and stuff like that and repaint the images or remake the statues or resculpt the figurines on the walls, wherever it is, all throughout the whole entire so-called Middle East and Africa. They did this. So that's why all the images now are whitewashed, or that's why you're able to find whitewashed images. Not that they're all whitewashed, but you can find whitewashed images. It's because they did that. And like I said, First Maccabees 3:48 mentions it, so keep that all in mind while you're watching this. But I'm gonna fast forward because he tried to say that the curses of Deuteronomy 28 do not apply to so-called black people. He tried to say King James isn't black, that the pictures, he didn't get on Russian icons, but he used this one image right here. This is the only Russian icon image that he used, and he tried to say it come from a catacomb. But you can find the actual version of this. He tried to say this one is the version that the Israelites used to say that Jesus is black, but we actually use a version where he's much darker than this.
Yeah.
These still white kids. Look at that's Trump's son. That's Bill Gates' kid. That's George Bush. You know what I'm saying? Like these are all white kids. These are all white people right here. So this is what he tried to say that we use to show our image or prove that, you know, Jesus is white or black. He's trying to prove that Jesus is white. So he's going to show all these Roman catacomb images from 221 AD. You know what I'm saying? 127 AD. We got kicked out the land in 70 and 73 AD. That's years after the white man's left there in control of the land to do what he wants with it. You know what I'm saying? And the Bible talks about that. So that's just how, you know, the white man's a cunning person, but he's very smart. And for people that don't know nothing, they would have got by this. He's going to try to tell you that King James is a white man. This picture is not of a black guy, it's a white guy. You know what I'm saying? What black man has he's actually going to say what black man can grow a handlebar mustache, right? That's what he said. He said, what black man can grow a handlebar mustache? That was his only claim for how King James could be a so-called white man. So, right quick, before we get on this Deuteronomy 28 thing, I want to show y'all a black man with a handlebar mustache. That's going to be the same dang complexion as King James, because he also used this same argument for King James' oldest son, Charles, right? In the image of Charles James. Charles also has the same handlebar mustache that King James has. And he's going to try to say that neither one of them could be Negroes simply because of the type of mustache they had. Not also taking into the fact that King James' mama was a half Edomite. So his hair complexion probably would have been a little wavy any damn way. But I'm going to still show y'all a white guy. So y'all can see this. Hold on a second. Here we go. Black man with handlebar mustache. Actually, let me show y'all this right quick so y'all can see. There's King James.
Is Jacobus the fifth. It has nothing to do with...
Oh, and he tries to say that the Jacobus here is the Dutch painter who painting his name in Dutch, which would be Jacob in Dutch is Jacobus, which is true, but his name was James because his parents knew that he was the son of Jacob. That's why they named him James in the first place. Just put that out there.
The biblical Jacob, or the tribe of Judah. He was just spelling...
And he's from the tribe of Benjamin. We never said he was from the tribe of Judah.
King James's name in Dutch. Fake black Israelites also appeal to the picture of King James on the cover of Thomas Hobbes' 1651 book, Leviathan. However, this is not an eyewitness picture. Moreover, upon close examination, King James does not even look Negro. He even has a handlebar mustache and wavy long hair, not an afro.
Again, keep in mind that his grandmother is half Edomite, right? So I don't even think his hair was that wavy, but to say that he had a little bit of a wavy hair complexion wouldn't make him no different than the brother I'm about to show you. Look at how the man look. Check out these handlebar mustache brothers. Y'all see this? Here go the Edomite. That's what he wants us to say that they look like. But don't this brother kind of look like Charles? Say he had the same hat on with like a Jerry curl wig or something. You know what I'm saying? That's what he would look like right here. So brothers could do the handle. These are fake, but brothers could do the handlebar mustache thing. You know what I'm saying? He has the real one, and he has the real one. So, and James would have been about this man's complexion, to be 100% real with you. He was about this complexion. His mother was a little bit lighter than this, and his father was about this complexion. So, I even think his dad had a little Edomite in it. He might have been half Edomite or a quarter or something like that. But, yeah, so, okay. The Edomite. The Edomite talking about Deuteronomy 28. This is where he really got bold, right? He tried to tell us straight up that the curse of Deuteronomy 28 don't fit the Negroes. The slave trade thing for Deuteronomy 28:68 was all manifested in the Babylonian captivity. So let's break that down and then we'll be finished.
28 affirms curses would be brought upon Israel if it was disobedient and violated the Mosaic covenant. The curses include and relate to death, slavery, slave ships, Egypt, labor work, occupation, famine, and Israelites dispersing throughout the world.
Yeah, he's trying to keep saying, somebody said that he keeps saying fake black Israelites. The reason why is because, like I told you guys, what he's trying to do with the Ethiopian thing, he's trying to keep mentioning it to bring back the fact that these fake black Israelites are Ethiopians. They're not Israelites. And he's trying to keep putting into your brain, if you're watching this and you're not an Israelite, that they're a fake black Israelite movement. That's why he started the whole video what he started with at the beginning, because he wants that to be in the back of your mind.
Etc. Fake black Israelites falsely claim Deuteronomy 28:68 predicts the transatlantic slave trade of the African Americans. However, there are many problems with this position. Firstly, the Deuteronomy 28:36 curse was that the Israelites would be brought with their king to a foreign nation if they disobeyed.
So I want y'all to see what he just did. right? And don't be surprised if a lot of Edomites take this approach to Deuteronomy 28, including vocab Shimon. I mean vocab McNuts, and vocab Malone, whatever his name is, right? So the Lord will bring you and your king. First, he starts talking about Deuteronomy 28:68. Then he jumps to Deuteronomy 28:36 because he's trying to make it look like both of these scriptures are talking about the same thing. As in, Deuteronomy 28:36 was part of the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28:68. And this curse has nothing to do with being put on slave ships by water. So keep that in mind, but watch how he tries to tie the two curses in together. I'm showing you this because I guarantee you it's going to become a breakdown of the Christian church and the Christian apologists for our Deuteronomy 28 breakdown. And it being the curses that fit the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This is what they're going to try to do to refute that.
Okay. Africans were not brought to America with a king. On the other hand, during the Assyrian captivity,
He don't even know Luke 21:24. He's going to prove it.
of the 10 tribes of Israel in 722 BC, the Israelite king Hoshea was taken captive with the Israelites. Also, when Babylon sieged Jerusalem and exiled the people of Judah in 586 BC, the Judite king of Israel, Zedekiah.
You see the picture he used? He found a picture with brown-skinned Babylonians and Edomite Jewish people walking through from Israel into Babylonia. That's what he chose to be the picture for this.
Zedekiah was also exiled and brought with the Israelites. Thus, Deuteronomy 28:36 was fulfilled by the ancient Judeans and Israelites, not African Americans. Secondly, Scripture actually tells us this is when the Deuteronomy 28 curses were fulfilled, since referring to the Babylonian captivity, Zechariah 1:6, for example, says the Lord's commandments, quote unquote, took over the Israelites.
Right. But what does it say, right? Deuteronomy 28:45. You can read that right quick out. Did he just click out? What happened to Jane? Oh, he back. What happened? They cut you off too?
They cut me off.
But could you read Deuteronomy 28:45 for me right quick? I want to show them something. Because the Edomite tried to say here, right? First he tried to link up Deuteronomy 28:36. Say that they are intertwined with each other, right? That Deuteronomy 28:36, 28:68 was part of Deuteronomy 28:36. And he's trying to say that it all goes back to this, right? This verse, Zechariah 1:6, is the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28:36 and Deuteronomy 28:68 because they were overtaken by the Babylonians. This is what he's going to try to say. Check this out. Go ahead and read that.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. You said 45, right?
Yeah.
Verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee.
Right.
Till thou be destroyed.
So it says that they're going to pursue us and overtake us till we be destroyed. Go ahead.
Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day.
Right.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
Oh, for how long? Keep going.
And for a wonder. And upon thy seed forever.
Dang. So these curses ain't supposed to just stop like the Christian church would want you to believe, right? They're not a curse that would just happen one time and one time only. And he's actually going to cut himself with this because he's trying to make it seem with Deuteronomy 28:36, Deuteronomy 28:68, and Zechariah 1:6 that because we were overtaken in both of those scriptures and that he has an account in the Assyrian captivity and the Babylonian captivity to account for Deuteronomy 28:36, that automatically accounts for Deuteronomy 28:68. But he realized that that wasn't actually entirely true, so he's going to try to add in something else that we spoke about already, which was the 70 AD captivity, right? And the disbursement. So check this out. Watch how clever he tries to be here.
The Hebrew word for took over here is nasag. And it's the same word used in Deuteronomy 28:15 and 45.
That's what we just read.
When mentioning how the Israelites' failure to obey God's commands would lead to the Israelites being took over by curses. Same word used. This shows the Babylonian captivity was the fulfillment of the Deuteronomy 28 curses. Thirdly, referring to the Babylonian
So
destruction.
you heard that. He just made the statement that the Babylonian captivity that didn't involve any water, because the boys never looked at a map before, but Iraq and Israel don't got not one body of water separating them from each other. It's a couple-day walk, but you ain't got to swim nowhere.
Of Jerusalem and captivity in the 6th century BC. Lamentations 4:10 mentions how the Israelites were starving so bad they ate their own children.
So watch what he did here, right? He brings up Lamentations 4 and 10. The Israelites were starving so bad that they ate their own children. But isn't this also a Deuteronomy 28 curse? So he's also going to mention that curse, but he's going to make it seem like that curse only happened one time, when he just mentioned it here in Lamentations 4 and 10 to be something that they did during the Babylonian captivity. Now watch how he tries to get smart, and a Christian wouldn't realize he's doing this, but watch what he's going to do. He's going to try to cover his tracks because he knows he just messed up.
This fulfills the curse in Deuteronomy 28:53, which says, "And you shall eat the fruit of your womb, the flesh of your sons and daughters, whom the Lord your God has given you, in the siege and in the distress with which your enemies shall distress you."
So look, Zechariah 1 and 6 was supposed to be the overtaking that fulfills Deuteronomy 28, right? But what he didn't let you understand was that those verses couldn't have been completely fulfilled by one overtaking, because he just showed you that in Lamentations 4 and 10 that they was talking about having to eat their children in Babylonian captivity, right? Because he knows that Jeremiah is not around during the Roman captivity. But then he finds Deuteronomy 28:53, and he's like, damn, that adds up to something else. So he's gonna go to Mark and check out what he does here to try to cover his tracks. But he doesn't realize that he's bringing up two different type of captivities that involve all three of these curses that he just brought up, and tried to say only happened one time. Check this out. He's cutting himself.
I am not aware of African Americans eating their children due to famine after first being sieged and occupied by Americans. Fourthly, Deuteronomy 28:63 refers to the Israelites being taken from Israel by a nation, not being taken from Africa or the land of Ham to the United States.
Because once again, that was talking about what? Assyrian captivity and Babylonian captivity. But remember, he just mentioned Deuteronomy 28:53. So watch what he has to do to cover his tracks. Because to make it the argument he wanted to make it, he should have just brought up Lamentations 4 and 10 and left it alone. Because we know that was talking about Babylonian captivity. But Deuteronomy 28:53 was talking about something a little bit different, including the Babylonian captivity, but it also happened again that he's going to have to mention, but he's not going to realize what he did. Check it out.
It says, "And you shall be plucked off the land that you are entering to take possession of it," end quote. In the Deuteronomistic historical context, the land the Israelites were entering and taking possession of here was the land of Canaan they would conquer and rename as Israel. Thus, it is impossible for this text to refer to African American slavery. Fifthly, fake black Israelites falsely claim Deuteronomy 28:68 predicts Africans going on slave ships to America. Quote,
Here we go.
"And the Lord will bring you back in ships to Egypt," i.e. the supposed symbolic America, "a journey that I promise that you should never make again, and there you shall offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer," end quote.
Now I want you to read, check this out. I think he's using the ESV version, if I'm not mistaken. It might be a different one, but he's using a version that's not worded like the King James version on purpose, because he's going to try to use it to his advantage. But we know that the KJV is the closest one to the Hebrew because we read it. He's never read the Hebrew. So we know that the things that this scripture is saying, it's not actually saying it the way that it's being read here. But this ain't where he cut himself. I'm gonna let him bleed out. Hold on.
Quote, commenting on this verse, fake black Israelite Elisha Israel writes, History undeniably reveals to us who was hoarded on ships and sold on auction blocks as bondmen and bondwomen, as is described in Deuteronomy 26:68. Only those...
I thought I wasn't tripping. So Naphtali said he was using the KJV this whole time. Okay, so that means I wasn't tripping. So that means he decided to use the KJV up until this point so he could make his point with a different translation. Thank you. So I thought I wasn't tripping because I realized that when I was watching it earlier, but I thought I was just tripping. But okay, so I wasn't. I mean, he just decided to use the ESV for this. Okay, all right.
Stripped from Africa have endured being captured as slaves and transported by way of ships to the Americas, Europe, and Asia, end quote. However, this is historically incorrect. The ancient Jews were put on ships and sold as slaves throughout the world by the emperors Titus and Hadrian.
Oh,
in the first...
Now we know what this is, right? We talked about this on a Milk Monday last week, right? Or 2 weeks ago, whichever one it was. But yeah, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, you're right. So we spoke about this, right? 2 weeks ago. This was Roman Emperor Vespasian and his son Titus coming to Israel, 70 AD, and sacking the place, right? But what did they do? They built a wall so that we couldn't run nowhere else, which means we had to run to Africa, right? So what he's not going to tell you here is that, yeah, we were sold by the people, but one, it wasn't that many of us sold because the majority of us fled, as the scripture said, right? In Luke, right? And in Mark. So also, what he's not going to mention is he said that they were sold and dispersed amongst the world. And he's going to try to tell you that this also fulfills the curse of Deuteronomy 28:64. We will be dispersed amongst the four corners of the earth in all nations, right? But my question would be, who the hell was we were dispersed to in the Americas during this time period?
That's the question. Hey, how do we get to the Caribbeans?
How do we get to the Caribbean at this time? Because Alexander the Freak wasn't ruling none of those areas. The world he was ruling, and he's actually going to mention the exact places that Alexander was ruling: Europe, the Middle East, Asia. That's it.
That's it.
That was the world at the common time, and that's where we got dispersed to. So he's trying to say that we were sold on slave ships, but it doesn't it doesn't fulfill the curse of us being scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Because even when we were dispersed by whoever it was that sold us to or that bought us, right? They weren't on all four corners of the earth. They were all in a secluded area called the Middle East that Alexander was able to take over. The furthest south they went was Egypt. The furthest east they went is Pakistan, or like close to Punjab, India. And the furthest west they went is Macedonia. That ain't the four corners of the earth. But he's also going to say that they were never bought, which he's going to cut himself on. I'm going to let him cut himself. Let's go.
And 2nd centuries.
Then we finish.
And this is when the Deuteronomic curses were fully fulfilled. Here is the history. In AD 70, the Roman commander Titus, who would later become the emperor, amassed troops and invaded Jerusalem, destroying the temple and murdering and enslaving the Jewish population. This happened during the First Jewish War against the Romans between AD 66 and 70, and it led to a great famine in Jerusalem, according to the ancient historian Josephus. This fulfills the hunger or famine curses in Deuteronomy 28:48. Also, Josephus tells us that due to this famine, the Jews were forced to survive by eating their own children, which fulfills the cannibalism curse in Deuteronomy 28:53.
So,
said that yo.
Right? He just said that happened. So why is Deuteronomy 28:53 allowed to happen more than one time, but Deuteronomy 28:68 ain't allowed to happen more than one time? Right? That sounds like a deception right there. That sounds like he was trying to hide something, but let's see how much more he's going to cut himself.
By the way, these famine curses were also fulfilled during the Babylonian captivity. Now, Roman commander Titus had 97,000 Jews enslaved and 1,100,000 Jews murdered in Jerusalem. Josephus informs us that those above the age of 17 years old were transported on ships to the Egyptian mines to do labor as slaves.
Time out. Time out. Weren't we supposed to be put on a slave ship from one end of the earth to the other? We were supposed to go into Egypt as slaves, right? But he's trying to say this was literal Egypt. I don't think Josephus would have said we went to Egypt on ship because there wasn't no damn Suez Canal yet, and there wasn't no need to put them on ships to go to Egypt if you're taking them from Israel.
Don't make no sense. What you get on the ship for?
Does that mean he lied? He tried to use the fact that they went to Egypt, that slaves went to Egypt and he input the fact that, oh, they were put on ships, but they weren't put on ships because there wasn't no damn water yet for there to be a ship for them to be put on. Wasn't no water yet. I don't even know if the Suez Canal is big enough for you to put one of them big old slave cruise ships on.
Like
move and travel and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense. But there's more. He ain't finished yet.
This fulfills the slavery curse, which again says, and the Lord will bring you back in ships to Egypt.
So he's trying to say, we'll bring you back in ships to Egypt. You see the translation he's using? So he's trying to say literally because of what he told you guys that Josephus said, which he lied on Josephus, because it wasn't really said that we were taken back on ships. You know what I'm saying? It said that slaves were taken to Egypt. They input that it was ships, right? And they do that to try to fulfill the curse of Deuteronomy 28 to make it seem like it only happened one time and that it only could have happened one time. But then the cracker said right before that Deuteronomy 28:53 happened in Babylon, and it happened in Israel in 70 AD.
He just told a hell of a lie, right? He said that the Romans sold us into Egypt, right? That's what he just said?
Yeah, that's what he said.
But this scripture say, and there you shall sell yourself.
It do say that, don't it?
He just lied.
It say you shall offer yourselves for sale to your enemies. But he didn't say that. No. But you know what? Yeah, see, I didn't realize that. I'm glad you caught that because he about to say something else that's like real grimy. Just watch.
This text has nothing to do with Africans coming to America on ships.
Watch this part.
Those that were under 17 years old were sold as slaves, and many others were transported to other provinces as presents to be destroyed in gladiator games by the sword or by beasts.
So again, he never said they was bought. He just said transported. You know why? Because these people are supposed to be sold as slaves in Deuteronomy 28:68. They weren't sold here because he's just transporting them to other generals that live in the land that were, the descendants of the people who took the throne from Alexander. Mm-hmm. So whoever's ruling the land in Egypt from the Ptolemaic dynasty, that's who got the slaves in Egypt. Whoever's ruling Syria is who got the Syrian people. Whoever's ruling the Seleucid dynasties region, they're the ones who got the slaves for that area. They didn't have to buy them. They were just sent over there. You know what I'm saying? But he's going to prove that and cut himself on accident. Go ahead. Let him go ahead.
Something similar happened under Emperor Hadrian's Roman reign in the next century. After the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70, slowly the city was rebuilt and many Jews returned to it. The Jews even built an altar on the destroyed Temple Mount, and thus temple ritual was temporarily reinstated.
So now he's using stuff from the Maccabees, which is way, way before this happened, to try to make it seem like the Jews are still in the land after 70 AD. In the video that we showed you where these white historians are telling you that didn't even happen. Everybody fled to Africa. And I showed you that they said that it was only 30,000 of the Jews that fled. Everybody else went into slavery. But there's other accounts, one of which we know that says it was well over 1 million that fled into Africa.
Slaki, even in Deuteronomy 28:68, I think in his version, it says, and you will see the land no more again.
Mm-hmm.
But they went right back. He said,
they went right back. They went right back and settled in the land. Mm-hmm. And you know what? They stayed there fighting amongst themselves with the Palestinians, who was like well outnumbered them, and they didn't die till 1948, and now they get to live in the land free. Don't make no damn sense, do it.
At all.
Because last I checked, I also thought there was a mandate that they had to make in 1948 just to allow them to be able to step foot in the land because no Arabs or Palestinians wanted them there. Right? I mean, they wasn't even there at the time. But But anyway, he's almost finished cutting
The
himself.
Roman 10th Legion troops stayed in Jerusalem to keep order. Then a Jewish resistance arose called the Bar Kokhba Revolt,
I don't want to hear
which
all
led
that. Let's fast forward to where he cuts
50
himself.
Jewish outposts and 985 villages were destroyed. These and the previous instances of Jerusalem's invasions and destruction fulfill the Deuteronomy 28:52 curse, which again says, "They shall besiege you in all your towns until your high and fortified walls, in which you trusted, come down throughout all your land."
Yeah, this is true.
This was not fulfilled in Africa.
No, it wasn't.
At this time, many Jews also died due to starvation from famine, and many were enslaved by Emperor Hadrian, who then banned all Jews from entering Jerusalem. Professor of Jewish history Shmuel Safrey notes, particularly notorious was the Terebinth market north of the earth to the other. There you will worship other gods, gods of wood and stone, which neither, quote, this fulfills the Deuteronomy 28:68 statement that, quote, there you shall offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer. And
now look, what you say he said, Yaqua. It says, there you shall sell yourselves for slaves and your enemies, to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't say that they sold themselves. He said they were given up by these Roman people, right?
Yeah.
But watch what he's about to say now. Watch how racist he's about to get.
End quote. Were there no buyers of African American slaves? No, there were many buyers. Likewise, George Williams notes.
So he tried to say that there were buyers of African American slaves, so that can't be what they talk about because we got bought, right? But you don't understand that he was just trying to say that all them people was sold.
Mm-hmm.
So don't that mean they got bought too? Right?
Exactly.
Whether they sold themselves or they were sold. To be sold, that means somebody bought your behind.
Period.
So he cut himself. Because if that's really what that means, based on his understanding, there was no buyer for the slaves in America, so they couldn't be the Israelites that's being talked about here. But the same version he reading says that they sold themselves. Don't that mean that they was bought? No, wait. Before he read that, he said that whatever the emperor was, the Roman emperor sold all these people through the four corners of the earth.
Okay.
In fact, I think he's gonna say, hold on.
At this time, many Jews, quote, were sold as slaves at Hebron or at Gaza.
Oh, okay. So many Jews were sold as slaves in Hebron or Gaza. They didn't sell themselves, but they were sold. That's what he says right here. Right?
Okay.
So damn.
It don't make sense, man. Hey, I got a precept.
Go ahead.
Precept. This is Sirach chapter 20 and verse 24. A lie is as a foul plot in a man. And that's what he is, man. He's a foul plot. He's trying to plot against the nation of Israel, man. The true Hebrew Israelites. From the Negro descent. Yes, I'm going to say it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it is continually in the mouth of the untaught. And this dude is obviously untaught, man. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. His history is contradicting. His Bible scholarship is terrible. He's just throwing a towel, man. I got another, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna jump to verse 26.
Go ahead.
The disposition of a liar is dishonorable, and all Edomites are dishonorable, man. Never trust thine enemy, man. They're dishonorable, and his shame is ever with him. And this dude's shame for this video is gonna be forever with him, and the Most High is gonna destroy all Edomites, man. Point blank, period, man.
Yeah, man. So, that's actually where I'm going to stop the video. I think he cut himself enough right there. It's so much more we could talk about, but I want to bring this out right quick. Give me Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Because this ultimately is something that they made not just to help themselves, right? They made this video to get so-called black people, right? Hispanic people, Native American people, people that descend from us scattered abroad, who might not identify with none of those things. They made this video to get them from coming into the truth, to deter them from finding out what this is actually about, what we're actually about as Israelites. That's why they made this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They made this to basically stop the progression of the movement. That's what they think all these debunked videos are going to do, right? They get a lot of likes on them, they get a lot of views on them, but they also get a lot of dislikes. You know why? Because it's Israelites that are actually learning and finding out that the stuff they're saying isn't true. So y'all have to be keen and y'all have to be on top of y'all scholarship as well, man. Because if you aren't, they say stuff that you never heard before and it sound good, and that's why we got all these stupid doctors in Israel right now. Because they're hearing things like all these Facebook Israelites, you know what I'm saying? They're hearing things from crackers like Vocab Malone. They putting stuff out there. They have these Negroes who are in their circle trying to be like Vocab Malone, who are putting stuff out there. And brothers are believing the stuff they're saying because they're thinking it's coming from a brother. But really it's coming from a Vocab Malone or it's coming from an Eric White. You know what I'm saying? It's coming from these people because they're the ones at the head of the dang horse that's controlling it. And they're spewing what needs to be said, what needs to trickle down to try to help defeat our quote unquote doctrine. You know what I'm saying? So that's what their goal is. That's what they're going to keep trying to do. We have to be on top of our stuff to make sure we prevent that from happening. And that we're always able to destroy whatever doctrines that they try to come at us with. So give me that Hosea 4:6 right quick.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee.
Right. So we need to stop rejecting knowledge, man. We need to try to do as much research as we can. The internet is your friend, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? The internet is something you should be using to help you out because Esau has put everything that he knows about on it. You know what I'm saying? And if you know how to use it, if you know how to break the algorithms, you can find out anything you want to know. So why not find out where you come from so that people can stop lying to you about this stuff, right? It would help us with different solutions that we need to come up with to help our community get better. It would help us with, making up or keeping our people on the laws to make sure our community is running smoothly and everything like that. It would just make things 100% better for us if we were seeking the knowledge that was in this book. But the reason most of us don't is because the white man's made it hard to understand, so they go to other things, right? Or the white man lies to you like he did in 2 hours and 26 seconds of this video. And if you don't know anything, if you're not on to the knowledge, if you don't know your history, then you're going to be swayed the wrong way by it. So let's get Baruch 2 and 29 right quick, and then I'm finished.
It's the book of Baruch.
I ain't read this in a long time. This used to be my favorite.
Chapter 2 and verse 29. If ye will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among nations.
That's what the white man has done. He's turned us into a small number, right? And now that we're divided into a small number, we're labeled African Americans, Jamaicans, Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, whatever it is, right? Colombians, Brazilians, Venezuelans, all these different things that they didn't split us into.
Mm-hmm.
And now, because we're split, it's hard for us to figure out what solutions we need to make to come together. It's hard for us to even see that these are the people we need to come together with because we don't know who's the same, right? If you're not looking at it from an Israelite standpoint. So once again, this is all part of their crafty counsel. This is all part of things that they've tried to do to basically alleviate the pain and basically relieve the stress of us having to try to figure out who we are. Instead, they've just made it easy. Y'all don't need to figure out who you are. You're a Jamaican, you're a Haitian, you know what I'm saying? You're a Puerto Rican, you know what I mean? You make sugar cane, you're a hell in a high place, and you're a Puerto Rican. That's what they call you. You know what I'm saying? So these are the type of things that we have to get used to. These are the type of things that we have to understand. Because if we don't understand these things, then they end up making videos like this, and our people believe the videos. They share the videos on Facebook. They share the videos on Instagram. They share the videos on Patreon. And these black Hebrew Israelites are fake. Look at what this white man said, right? They trusted in their enemies, only to find out at the end of the day that the enemy was lying to them. He deceived himself. His fathers inherited lies, and you believed it. You know what I'm saying? That's the situation they're going to end up in at the end of the day because they rejected knowledge. The Most High rejected them. So I wanted to make this video just to, like I said, it was supposed to be a whole debate that we did with the dude, but he didn't want to come on. You could go on his channel, look at the video he got with the GOCC guy, and you could see on the comments, he's actually asked for my email address. I gave it to him. He told me he was going to hit me up, and he never did. Instead, he replied to Assad, because I spoke to Brother Assad, and he set up a date with him, got back in my email, asked me what topics that we were going to go over. I asked Assad for the topics. Assad tells me what topics that they're going to do so that we don't get the same topics, and then he skips out on the debate with me. Says he don't want to debate two Israelites at the same time. So y'all be on the lookout. I think his debate going to be Thursday night with them or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Sunday or Thursday. So whoever they debate Sunday or Thursday, the Faith and Grace Ministry guy, he's the one who allowed this video to be made and put on his channel. Wow. So be on the lookout for that. You got anything else out?
I'm gonna just read verse 30 on that verse.
Yeah, go ahead. I wanted to read that. Go ahead.
For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people.
Mm-hmm.
But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
Yeah, man. And that's what we have to do, right? Baruch 3:8 says that we are yet this day in the land of our captivity. Huh? If the fake Jews, how about this, right? If the fake Jews was the real Jews, but they're in Israel right now, which is supposed to be the Holy Land where we didn't serve captivity, right? Why are they in the land and not still in the land of their captivity, where they're supposed to be serving a payment and a recompense for their forefathers, like Baruch 3:8 says? Why is it they get to be in the land now all of a sudden, right? Even the Christians know that Jesus is supposed to come back and put the Jews in the land. Any Christian will tell you that. So why don't they believe that these people that are in Israel right now that didn't get put there by Jesus, because we ain't seen Jesus come back yet, why all of a sudden are they the Israelites? And if they're not the Israelites, whoever the real Israelites are, don't matter. That's the mindset of most Christians these days. Yeah, we know the Jewish people ain't the real Jews, but it don't matter who the real Jews are. Everybody's saved by faith and grace.
We're gonna see.
We're gonna see. So that's all I got to say, man. Hope y'all enjoyed the lesson.
Good lesson.
Again, this was just another debunking Christian video. I hope that y'all go watch the video. I don't want to get a man no views and nothing like that, but he said a lot of crap in there that y'all probably gonna need to, brush up your skills on. Because, like I said, I don't know why I keep finding these videos with like these debunk the Black Hebrew Israelite videos, but every time I find them and I listen to them, it's not like the same stuff they used to debunk us with. When I first came into the truth, it used to be easy crap they would say. Now they're coming up with stuff like it don't even make sense. And if you don't know anything, you'll be like, is this real? Is this true?
Yeah, you gotta look into it, yeah.
Is the Nubians really the Negroes? Because these pictures do look like the Egyptians and the Negroes is different. And we look kind of like the new, like they'll be thinking all that mess. Next thing you know, brother fall out the truth and he a damn
bug-eyed now.
I'm an Asiatic nickel. Asiatic, bruh. Asiatic black man. We the first Asians. We the Mesopotamians. We the Sumerians. We everything. We created Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Brothers start saying all that type of stuff. We the Canaanites. What you mean? We the Nuwapians, bruh. You never heard of Dr. York? We the Nuwapians. Brother Polite in them. You know what I'm saying? Brothers get into that type of mindset because they seen a video like this. So
that's crazy.
Watch the videos, man, and brush up on your skills. You know what I'm saying? Keep up what y'all need to keep up on. Keep learning the scripts. Keep learning the milk. Because at the end of the day, Brother Yahweh says this all the time. Zabak says this all the time. You
That's
gotta
right.
you have to become masters of the milk in order to teach the deep stuff. You're not even gonna understand the deep stuff if you can't become a master of the milk first. Waking up Israel isn't about knowing the deep stuff. Most Israel don't need to know the deep stuff because they don't even know what the Bible's about. They need to know the milk. So you got to become a master of the milk. You understand what I'm saying? That's all you have to do. If you become a master of the milk, you're the best teacher in Israel because that's what's gonna wake up the people.
That's right.
The people are not gonna wake up off the Daniel 7 breakdown. Daniel, you know what I'm saying? Daniel 12 breakdown. They're not gonna wake up on the Revelation 7 breakdown.
They
You know,
understand.
like they ain't gonna wake up on all them things. They not even like you said. They're not gonna understand it. They ain't gonna understand the chronological order of Jesus' forefathers. The difference between Chronicles and Matthew. Like they don't need to know all that
Nah.
right now. Right now, they need to know who the covenant's for. Right, that they got to believe in Yahweh, who the real Israelites are, how to find out who the real Israelites are. This is the type of things that people need to learn.
That's sincere milk.
You need to learn how to teach the sincere milk. So I just hope y'all are getting it, man. I hope y'all are enjoying the lessons. If I'm not mistaken, there's a new segment that's going to be coming up soon. So y'all be on the lookout for that. It might be on Thursday nights from what I heard. And I'm not going to be in it. So y'all look forward to the brothers that's going to be doing that. So, yeah, man, that's all I got to say. Hope y'all have a good night. I'm Brother Ayah.
So Jaquab.
We the sons of thunder Israelites. It is
Right.
our prayer, hope, desire to the Most High that all Israel be saved.
Huh.
Shalom.
Shalom.
And thank everybody for the donations if I didn't get to mention the water.
Much love. Much love.
And once again, before I forget, we having a new moon tomorrow. If you want to RSVP, hit the email. Sons of Thunder Israelites at gmail.com. All right? Shalom.
Shalom.
All right.
All right. Shalom, Matt.
Shalom.